North Division plays host in a sea of red. But the Eagles of Chadron State come soaring in to the jungle to play host, to play spoiler to the hometown Gorillas. I'm Ryan McCullough, joined alongside Daryl McLeod. Daryl, it's playoff football in the air. Win or go home time. What can we expect from these two teams?
Well, it's the fourth all-time matchup between these two teams, a matchup that started way back in 2008 and finished in 2010. That's the last time these two teams have seen each other. Now, a little bit of history in the coaching box and Chadron State. The first time these two teams played was back in 2008. Quarterback for Pittsburg State at that time was Mark Smith. Mark Smith is currently the wide receivers coach now for Pittsburg State University, so some experience against the Eagles there. We'll see if that has anything to play with it, but looking more towards the game at hand and the players at hand, Pittsburg State got a lot of all-MIAA honors to their name, but still, none of that matters because that's all regular season ball, and we're in playoff time now, Ryan. Like you mentioned, it's win or go home. So this game is all important for these two teams. Both teams had a similar regular season, starting off 0-2, then going on long winning streaks that would put them in this playoff spot. Chadron State fell to Colorado State Pueblo, whereas Pittsburg State won to Northwest Missouri, and that's what gained them this home field advantage. And something else to note, those three losses for Chadron State all came on the road.
Yeah, they all came on the road. They're 4-3 on the road this year. They're 4-0 at their home site. And you look at the CSU Pueblo loss they had in double overtime, only by 3 points. Colorado State Pueblo, that's no slouch team. That's the #2 team in the region, and they're probably going to be trying to make a big playoff push this year. So no shame in that loss. They also beat the #9 ranked team in the country, Western Colorado. They beat them 27-24, also in overtime. So if this game gets dragged down to the deep waters, I think Chadron State kind of likes where they're at. They've been here in this moment. They've had a lot of close games with top-ranked teams, and they've been affected pretty well.
Absolutely. They've had experience going late into matchups and playing close ones. We'll see if Jackson Berry can get it done for the Pittsburg State Gorillas. And on the opposing side, a couple of quarterback switches throughout the season for Chadron State.
Yeah, like you said, a couple of quarterback switches today. It should be DJ Ralph getting the quarterback duties. He's a 6'3", fifth year. And we are underway in the 2025 Central Region 4 playoffs. This kick will be returned up the middle. He's got a lane, goes to the far sideline. He's off to the foot races. The Gorillas trying to get fireworks on the opening kickoff. They're not going to catch him. It's a Pittsburgh touchdown on the opening kickoff of the game. The jungle is fired up. I believe that's Jalen Fuchsa that ran it all the way back to the house for the Gorillas.
Oh my goodness. How to start a playoff matchup, Ryan. Down the sideline. Oh my goodness. Fireworks have shot already here in Pittsburg, Kansas.
The Gorillas come out swinging on the opening play. Austin Schmidt in the MIAA Special Teams Player of the Year. You know, the extra point duties. This one is up, and it is good. The Gorillas lead it 7-0 like that. Daryl, we were just trying to finish our intro, and the Gorillas are already on the board.
I mean, 12 seconds, just 12 seconds, and the Pittsburg State Gorillas take a 7-0 lead. My goodness. I mean, what can you expect? It's playoff season.
Yeah, literally anything can happen playoff time, and you're just trying to be the team to make the most big plays.
Well, now it's on the Eagles to answer. How can you do that? I mean, the only way you can better that is to return one of your own.
You don't try to get it all in one play. I thank you for the Eagles here, and you get this ball, you just try to get your offense going, go down the field. You don't need it all in one play. Go sustain a drive right here, take time. Do what you need to do. Get momentum back on your side.
Tywan Atkins Jr. returns it 99 yards for the Gorillas, putting them up 7-0. But you're absolutely right. Chadron State now, you're going to have your offense on the field. It's not what you expected, but it's what you've been dealt, and it's what you've got to play with.
And you look at Coach Long. He's been there. He's an experienced head coach. Over 14 seasons now, Chadron State's head coach. He knows he doesn't need to rush this drive right now. Take your time, get down the field. Now the Gorillas going to be kicking off to the Eagles as they look to respond. The Gorillas kickoff is up in the air. We'll see if this one could be returned, and a fair catch is going to be called, and the Eagles offense will come on the field. Daryl, what do you expect and want to see from the Eagles on this first drive?
Well, I mean, you got to develop the run game. Every single football game is won in the trenches, Ryan. It does not matter if you have a high-flying air attack offense or if you have a ground pound, it's going to be won in the trenches. So that battle up front is something you need to key on and watch throughout the course of this game. Pittsburg State's been very fortunate to have a lot of great pass rushers, but really they've been fortunate to have linebackers that can blitz off the edges and apply a lot of pressure to the quarterbacks.
It will be Ralph in at quarterback for the Eagles. He is in shotgun formation, lone back to his left. Sends a man in motion. He'll take the snap, and it's just going to be a handoff play, and the Gorillas are all over it after a gain of a couple. You take a look at some of the starters here for both these teams. Tommy Thomas going to be the key player to watch for the Eagles, a star wide receiver, almost 800 yards receiving for him this year. See what they can do on their second play from scrimmage now. Another man in motion. Ralph takes a snap. This time he's dropping back. The lefty is going to swing it out wide. It's caught by Thomas, and then he's brought down. There you'll see the Gorillas starters on defense. Stephen Ward, a hard-hitting defensive player. Jordan Rogers going to be the man to watch, though, for the Gorillas. An all-MIAA defensive player. And it's third down. And you got to think for the Eagles, you've got to keep this drive going. You cannot have a quick stop here and give the ball right back to Pitt State. Ralph right now in shotgun, one back to his right. Takes a snap. He's going to hand off to Tommy Thomas. He's got room on the edge, and he's brought down, but he's going to have enough for a first down.
And that's what good players do. If you're Chadron State in that situation, big third down, first drive, and your first third down that you're facing, you got to go and give the ball to your best player. Put it in the hands of your best player and trust that he can make a play and pick up that first down for you, and that's exactly what he does. Now, something to note for the Eagles here, they're putting in redshirt freshman running back Quincy Riker out of Sargent, Nebraska, and he's already gotten a carry or two in this game, so keep an eye on him throughout the remainder.
Dropping back, looking to pass. Yet again, got a man wide open. He's got room on this near side and then brought down for a gain. Could be enough for the first down. It will be easily.
And Jalen Fuchsa is the man on coverage there. He is dropping back and playing that wide receiver well, but he slips and falls at about the 10-yard marker, and that leaves a wide open out route for wide receiver Schlabs.
Yeah, Schlabs had plenty of room there. Like you said, Fuchsa fell. Eagles at midfield now on their opening drive. Ralph in the shotgun. Takes a snap. He's going to keep this one himself, and he's stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
That tackle is going to be made by Blake Carr. Blake Carr has been a fine addition to the Pittsburg State roster this season. Coming in and not really expected to get much playing time, but he's really just made a name for himself doing just that, filling the gaps where he needs to.
There is a player down for Pittsburg State. I believe that's number 44, Sam Holtz. That'd be a big loss for the Gorillas, Daryl.
Absolutely. Well, we coined him the Bear earlier on in this season, Ryan, and you know, he's got that name for a reason. Just a big guy that's able to track running backs really well and also take on a bunch of blockers and make sure to fill gaps wherever he needs to. So losing him in this situation could hurt a lot.
Both teams now going to kind of use this as an early free timeout to readjust, talk things over, calm it back down. It's worth mentioning now, you take a look at the weather. 49 degrees here in southeast Kansas right now. Overcast, cloudy skies. It was raining this morning, so the turf could still be a little slick. You already saw a couple trips earlier.
Absolutely. And, you know, coming out to the field early this morning and just kind of getting a feel for it myself, walking out there to see what the players were going to be playing in, it was cold. It was cold. There's a north wind blowing. So, you know, those hits are going to hurt and sting just a little bit extra today.
Yeah, if you get that colder weather, those hits all of a sudden start to feel a little worse than they do in the heat. Also hitting the turf, it feels a little harder all of a sudden when it gets cold outside.
Absolutely. Holtz is able to make it off the field under his own power. We'll see if he returns to the game at any point and also keep you updated on any injuries he might have.
Ralph now going to line back up on the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right and 1 to the left. Lone back to his right, takes a snap. He's going to roll out, looking to pass. No one there, being chased, and has to throw this one out of bounds.
That is such a tough play for Ralph to make. Rolling to his right as a lefty quarterback, he's going to have to create time for himself to turn and set his feet and make that throw, because there's no throw harder in football than that forward body throw where you're trying to just use any momentum you have to toss it out. So a very tough play designed for him to make, and with the added pressure from the backside, has to just toss that one away. Good experience, though, because if he doesn't, it results in a loss.
3rd and 9 for the Eagles. Ralph in the shotgun. Riker to his right, dropping back. The lefty's looking to pass, stepping up in the pocket. He's under pressure, now going to try to swing it out wide. Got his man caught for a first down.
And on that play, Pitt State brings a 5-man blitz. And Jaden Jackson almost gets home off the outside. You can see him cutting under his tackle, but it's a good move by Ralph to go up and under. And with that extra little improvisation, he's able to find the open receiver on the outside.
Roland George III with the reception. Fresh set of downs for the Eagles. This time it's going to be a handoff. Quincy Riker makes a couple men miss. He's up in open field and then brought down.
Reginald King Jr. in on the tackle, but Quincy Riker, good couple of carries from him from the redshirt freshman. However, we are going to see another Pitt State Gorilla hit the turf.
Yeah, another Gorilla down. This time it's going to be Kairos Martin, a 6'1" defensive end from Parkville, Missouri. So a couple Gorillas going down early here. Not what you want to see if you're a Gorilla fan or Coach Anthony. Holtz was able to get off the field under his own power and walk his way to the sideline. They're still working on him. It looks more like they're just stretching out Holtz on the sideline, but you just hope that he's okay right now.
So 2 quick injuries for Pittsburg State. And, you know, you almost got to wonder if that comes from not really expecting to be on the field this early. Obviously, you love the fireworks, but if you hear offense is going out first, you're kind of taking a step back. You're relaxing a little bit, saying, okay, I got a moment to collect myself before I go on the field. Those fireworks fire, and, you know, obviously Tywan Atkins does what he does best and returns it to the house, 99 yards. And all of a sudden you're like, hey, defense is being called. I got to go out there and play. It's a big adjustment to make, especially if you're not fully warmed up and ready and prepared to go out on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And also just players right now, a lot of emotion here. First round of playoffs. There's a lot of hard hitting going on. Now this time Ralph is going to hand off again. Quincy Riker bounces this one to the right. He's going to be dropped for a loss. That's Medeiros flying up from the safety position.
Medeiros has had a relatively quiet year from what would be expected from him. Classic punt returner and safety position for Ryan Medeiros, but hasn't been that big name that Pitt State might have expected him to be. He's been filled in by guys like Reginald King Jr. and Jordan Rogers, but their old experience comes up big in playoffs. People who have played in playoffs know what it's like and how to make those big plays.
A veteran group for the Gorillas. They made the playoffs last year where they were dropped by Harding in the opening round. Ralph now 2 backs join him. He's going to hand it off. Quincy Riker yet again. He's tripped at the line. He'll gain just a couple.
It's going to be decision time now for the Eagles, and not much thinking going to happen. They're going to bring on the kicking units.
Yeah, and I think you take the points here. You go down 7-0 on the opening kickoff. Okay, now you've moved the ball on your opening drive. No reason to risk it here and have a chance to still be down 7-0. Give Pitt State all the momentum back. You've moved the ball. Take the 3. There is a Eagle now down on the field.
A lot of injuries back and forth so far, but you're absolutely right. You got to take points. If you go down, you got to get points on the next drive. Something to note, though, the Eagles still haven't seen the Pitt State offense and still don't know what they're going to throw at them. So this next drive, you know, presuming that this kick goes the way we expect it to and it's the end of the Eagles' drive, you're going to see that Pitt State offense for the very first time, and you'll see how the Eagles respond to it. They face a lot of adversity in this game already. If they're able to climb that mountain and come back in this game, it's going to start on this first possession.
Corbin Haller able to walk off the field under his own power. And field goal time for the Eagles. Kicking duties for Chadron State will be Wilson Yee, the 6-foot senior. out of Littleton, Colorado. This is no easy kick. I saw him in warm-ups, though, and he was drilling them from about the 45.
This will be a 47-yard attempt.
This one's up. It's definitely got the distance, and it is good. 7-3. Eagles go get on the board on their opening drive. We got 9:44 remaining in the first quarter.
That was a pretty kick. It floated through the air for a while. I mentioned it already, though. North wind is going to be a factor. You saw it there. That ball kind of died there for a minute. I was wondering if it was going to have the leg. However, put through the uprights and good. And Wilson Yee tacks onto this lead just a little bit.
Yeah, he was just able to pull that one to his left. Got pretty close to that goal post, but able to put it in nonetheless.
So now we see the Pittsburg State Gorilla offense take the field for the first time, assuming that this kick doesn't go back again. Obviously, that's going to be a key point in that huddle over there to make sure that no matter what happens on this kickoff, that ball does not end up in the end zone.
No, and that time as well, got a lot of guys excited. They want to go make that opening first play of a playoff game. The Eagles come flying down the field, get a little bit out of their assigned lanes, and all of a sudden Atkins Jr. hits that hole, has a clean lane. And once he gets past you, you're not going to run him down. He's gone.
Yeah. As soon as you see the 3 on the back of his jersey, that's all you're going to see until he's turning around to celebrate. But the strategy might be to try and kick it through the back of the end zone here.
Otherwise, if you can't get to the back of the end zone, you kick it away from him.
And looking at the ensuing drive, assuming the offense does take the field, I imagine we'll see the air attack take shape. Now, it is a colder day. Typically when it's a colder day, harder for receivers to catch the ball, plus it's a little wet and rainy out there as well. That could have some effect on the air attack. I do not think Pitt State will go away from what they have in Jackson Berry, who, like we mentioned earlier, is the MIAA Offensive Player of the Year, so he was the player of the conference. And he has been special for the Gorillas.
Yeah, coming in from Southern Utah. This will be his lone year with the Pittsburg State Gorillas this season. So he doesn't want it to end yet. He wants to keep this run going. And Jackson Berry earlier today said whatever it takes to keep the family together. That's what he had to say about the game today going up against Chadron State. So win at all cost time. And Yee's kick is up and away. This one is in the end zone, and then fumble. We'll probably see him just take a knee, and he will. So it'll be a touchback, and Jackson Berry, the star-studded senior, coming out for the Gorillas on his first drive.
I think Atkins Jr. was a little antsy to return that one, forgot to catch the ball first. But you are right. Jackson Berry now takes the field, and we'll get to see just the impact he can have on this game. Someone else to note, though, for Chadron State is the RMAC Defensive Player of the Year, Logan O'Brien. We'll see what Logan O'Brien has to do from that linebacker spot and possibly his last season as an Eagle.
It's going to be fun to see him and Pelot Gary going at it today. Pelot Gary, the running back for the Gorillas, he catches that pass from Jackson Berry, coming to the near sideline, and a nice gain on first down by the Gorillas before Gary is escorted out of bounds.
And you see some of the starters here for Pittsburg State University. Zamari Pelot Gary getting the start over Cleo Chandler. That's been a change that happened about the 5th or 6th week of the season. And since then, Pelot Gary has taken that marker and run with it.
Pelot Gary averages the most yards per game rushing in the MIAA conference this season. And this time he stood up for a short gain, drags a couple defenders extra, and gets a gain of about 4 yards on the play.
And then taking a look at starting 11 for the Eagles, you can see there Logan O'Brien, the man to watch, number 43. Keep your eye on him on the field, just a playmaker from that linebacker spot. He's lined up at outside linebacker on the far side of your screen.
Berry gonna throw again. This time he's at Grayson Holbert, far side, and he darts forward for a first down before he's brought down by 2 Eagles.
That's exactly what I expected from the Gorillas. Air attack. One thing they do best is these quick little passes. Jackson Berry's so good at stepping back and slinging that ball. That's an experienced play, too. If he doesn't step back, that ball's tipped away by Logan O'Brien.
The Gorillas have run a lot of RPO action, and it's so helpful when you have a veteran quarterback at the helm to take those snaps. This time, Berry's going to step up. He's going to scramble. He's going to run. Makes one linebacker miss, and then goes out of bounds.
Jackson Berry there for a few weeks led the Pitt State Gorillas in rushing yards. So it's not a surprise to see him use his feet and get out on the field using the legs. And you can see just stepping up in the pocket. He's such a veteran and has such good vision of the field that he knows when he can take off and run, and also knows when it's his last resort.
Jackson Berry and the Gorillas line up, 2nd and 4. Back to his right. He's going to give it to Parchment. Parchment coming near side, almost tripped up, then gets forward. And I believe he'll have a first down.
So tough to take down Parchment in the backfield. You can see the Eagles stretch the field very well. You have a couple linebackers already attacking behind the line of scrimmage, but Parchment's just too quick and gets outside that first line of defense.
Cleo Chandler, the back for the Gorillas now. A veteran running back as well. He started the year as the Gorillas' main back before Palo Gary really burst on the scene. Berry takes a snap, dropping back, looking to pass. Got plenty of time. Now he's going to fade back, try to roll to his right, steps up in the pocket, now swings it out to Cleo Chandler. He's got open room, and then he's tripped up and brought down inside the 20-yard line. So there's the veteranship of Jackson Berry, evading defenders, staying comfortable. You're going to look at him here on this replay. Fades back, almost a holding call, then steps up in the pocket.
And how about the pocket presence by Jackson Berry, but also the protection from Pittsburg State University. Being able to give your quarterback more than 4 seconds in the pocket, you're basically creating a ballpark out there for him.
High snap now. This one's going to be a fumble. Jackson Berry does recover it and then swings it out of bounds to keep himself from getting a loss.
Well, just as I was applauding the offensive line, of course, 1 step forward and 2 steps back. That's how it always seems to be, the old announcer's jinx. But still, smart play by Berry to get that out of bounds and save yardage.
The Gorillas have had their problems in the red zone this season. Against Missouri Southern, they really struggled early in the red zone. Also against Washburn, they had a lot of problems when they would get inside the red zone. They were unable to punch it in for touchdowns, would have to settle for a lot of field goals. Berry takes the snap, gives to Grayson Holbert. Holbert spins, but brought down at the 19.
Jared Marquez with a great tackle on the outside. Holbert, another one of those speedsters, but the spin move does not fool number 40.
And now Berry will get the signals from the Gorilla sideline. He gets his team lined up. We'll have 2 receivers on each side. Smith will be his back to his right. Hard count, then takes a snap, dropping back under pressure, now has to step up. He's going to have to run and just take the sack, has to go down. Gets right back to about the line of scrimmage. And so a big stand there by the Chadron State Eagles, getting their defense off the field. And here come Austin Schmidt and the Gorillas field goal unit.
Austin Schmidt was the Special Teams Player of the Year in the MIAA, and this kick looks to be about a 35-yarder. I believe his long on the season is up to 54 yards, so we'll be hard-pressed to see him miss this one with wind at his back.
This one is up, plenty of distance. It's no good. Pulls it to the left.
Well, that one's my fault. Of course, you talk about a miss and the miss outcome.
Well, you look at the elements today. Field's a little more wet, a little different on your plant foot than when you're playing on dry turf. A little bit, not too much wind blowing, but when you have a wet football and you're kicking it, the ball gets a little heavier, comes off a little differently on your foot. That one pulls to his left, so we stay 7-3 here in the jungle.
And it'll be Chadron State to take over once again. And we'll see Ralph back in that sheriff's position to lead his offensive drive. Stalled out on the first one at around the 30-yard line, hoping to extend to the red zone and hit pay dirt this time with his offense on the field instead of a kicker.
Ralph and the Eagles, they just need to do exactly what they did on the last drive. Stay calm, sustain the drive, and just play your brand of football. Now it's going to be an empty set. 4 receivers to the Gorilla sideline. Gets it out wide. It's going to be a double pass. Back to Ralph, but it's overthrown. There was plenty of lead blockers in front of him.
Well, that's why typically the quarterback throws the ball and not the wide receiver, Ryan. That one just sails the head of Ralph. Yep. And also you don't want your quarterback to be going up trying to make any crazy plays.
Yeah, Preston Pearson tried throwing that one, but unable to connect with Ralph. And you see 3 blockers in front of him if he's able to bring that in. All of them just one Gorilla to block and plenty of space for Ralph to work. 2nd and 10 nonetheless. Here's a snap. and then brought down right past the line of scrimmage as the two lines come together.
Blake Carr in there once again for the tackle, and a little bit of words and a little bit of chippiness after the play is done.
It's playoff football,
Yeah.
Daryl. I mean, these are some emotional guys right now. For seniors, you're looking at playing maybe your last game of football ever if your team comes up short today, so you don't want to do that. But also, you're fighting for your guys. You're creating memories right now. You want to keep this season going as long as you possibly can, have a chance to hoist that national championship trophy in McKinney, Texas later this year. Ralph lining it up, 3rd and 7. The jungle getting loud for their Gorillas. Quincy Riker, the back, brings a man in motion. Takes the snap, dropping back, going to be under pressure. Has to roll out to his left. Looking to run, he's got plenty of room, and then he does, and he will have enough for the first down. Great job by Ralph evading defenders there and just taking the first down, not trying to make a play with his arm down the field.
And someone I want you to watch, it's not going to quite be caught by our cameraman here, but Tommy Thomas was blocking downfield before he even crossed the line of scrimmage. He just saw that he was not going to get open and that no other receiver was going to get open, and he immediately went to blocking, and that's just what a veteran receiver does.
That's what you love from your receivers if you're a coach. Receivers that can block and create lanes for running backs and quarterbacks on the scramble. Ralph now is going to hand off. He's going to keep it, and then he's swallowed in the backfield for a loss. The Gorillas thought they were about to have a scoop and score, but he was ruled down by the officials. And that was Kairos Martin back in the game after getting injured. Thought he was going to have a touchdown. You take another look at it here.
Yeah, just on the outside, it's exactly what you preach in practice. Break down, don't let the man outside you, and Elijah Morton is the man to get that done. And you're right, Kairos Martin, he thought he had a touchdown. Anytime a big man gets a football, he's looking for pay dirt.
No, they very seldom just jump on it. They think, oh, I can get 6 points. I got to show coach what I can do.
Last time they scored was in Little League football, so I don't blame them.
Ralph in shotgun, lined up in pistol formation now. His back will be lined up behind him. And whistles are going to blow, and a timeout called by Chadron State. The two teams will huddle up now. 2nd and 14, Daryl. You really got to start to dive back into your playbook here. I don't know if I run it against this Gorillas team. Sometimes I like running a draw play when it's 2nd and long to get some of those yards back. But, I mean, this Gorilla front 7 is just so ferocious.
Absolutely, and we've seen it through Blake Carr so far in this game. He has really been the one to fill all those gaps, and even if he doesn't have the most tackles, he's been in every single dog pile, and he's been pretty much the first to make contact every single time. And it's just what good linebackers do. They're scraping forward, reading the holes, and making sure that no one breaks free behind them. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Chadron State, you got an athletic quarterback back there. He's making plays, and he's doing his all for the team right now. You got to allow the rest of the team to back him up and create some miraculous plays themselves. One thing I want to note is I mentioned that the battle of the trenches is what usually wins a game, and right now the Eagles are losing flat out.
Yeah, I mean, the Gorillas' front line has been beating the Eagles' front line so far in this one. The D-line's been able to get in the backfield, make Ralph have to throw it on the run. I would give him the option of running here if I'm coach. I get him outside of the pocket, something either quick pass or able to scramble. They are going to let him keep it. He is going to throw. He does take a shot to Thomas, who goes up, and it's going to be incomplete. Great coverage there for Pittsburg State by King.
That's going to cause some disgruntled fans in the crowd. King never got turned around to look for the ball. However, I think he was just separated enough for the referee not to make that call. And we've seen a pretty clean game so far between these two teams.
Yeah, refs let them play early. They got chippy, but let them settle those emotions down, handle it between plays. Ralph lining up. It's 3rd and long. 3rd and 14 for the Eagles. Here's the snap. He's dropping back, looking to pass. Whistles are going to blow. It's going to be a timeout for Pittsburg State now.
So they want to make sure they have the right defensive set going on to this big 3rd down. because it's a chance for the Eagles to extend their drive. This drive is a big one. Pitt State did not score on their first offensive possession. They only scored on special teams. So right now they're reeling a little bit on the offensive side. Still haven't found the way to score. Now they were within range of Austin Schmidt. However, he missed. That's going to ruin his confidence for the rest of the game. We'll see how that plays a factor moving forward.
Yeah, you see some of the fans in the jungle there on camera. But going back to the Gorillas' first drive with Jackson Berry, they were going down the field, and then it was when Chadron State was really able to start getting pressure on Berry that drive stalled out and the Gorillas were unable to get points. You forced Austin Schmidt to have to come in and kick a field goal. Misses his first attempt that time to keep it a 4-point game. This time for the Eagles, you're 3rd and 14. You cannot have a turnover in this part of the field. You've got to either find a way to get a first down or incomplete. Worst case, you punt the ball down the field, try to flip the field. You do not force one into coverage here and it be intercepted.
Absolutely not. And if it does end up getting intercepted, you better make sure it's a far throw that you heave.
Yeah, because then it almost works like a punt if you really bomb one down the field. He's going to drop back, looking to pass. He's under pressure, steps up into the pocket, fires it, and it is going to be intercepted by who else? Jordan Rogers, the MIAA Defensive Player of the Year.
Jordan Rogers, from the moment that Tommy Thomas broke free on this route, he was open. This ball needs to be delivered a click early. Jordan Rogers uses that speed to break underneath and come up with a huge interception, forcing a turnover on Chadron State. And Jordan Rogers makes his way over to the turnover throne.
Yeah, Jordan Rogers, the veteran of this group, the leader of the Gorillas defense, coming up with a big play there. And the Gorillas will have the ball and start the drive in Eagle territory. Pistol formation, Berry dropping back. Now he's going to roll to his right, looking for someone to get open. Fires it to his back, who is tattooed after missing the ball.
Yeah, O'Brien is the one to tattoo him, but right through the hands of Pelode Gary. Of course, it is behind him. That's a tough catch to make. However, the old saying, the old adage, if it hits your hands, you better come down with it.
The Gorillas have had a very effective run game this year, so I expect them to try to start establishing that on this drive and open up the pass more. They came out pretty pass-heavy on that first drive. Berry going to be in shotgun. Pelode Gary is back. Takes the snap. He is going to hand it off. Pelode Gary goes up the middle. He's got plenty of space now. Makes a couple men miss. He's near the 30-yard line. Brought down, call it the 31.
Pelode Gary is just a tough individual, bouncing off tackles there. He's one of those guys that would probably go through hell with a water gun if you asked him to. And, I mean, you can see it right there. A couple of guys have him wrapped up, and he keeps on pushing, Ryan. Just a fantastic athlete for Pittsburg State. They struck gold with that running back there.
Berry hands off Pelode Gary yet again. Back-to-back carries. This time the Eagles are all over him.
I like to see Pittsburg State using the run game more to their advantage, but it's a good stand there by Chadron State to remind themselves that their defense is on the field and they have a couple of players that earned first-team honors in their conference. They need to step it up and they need to stop this drive where it's at.
Well, the Eagles have a very good defense themselves, and so they're going up against the Skrilla offense, and they just view it as a challenge. They don't view it as something overpowering or overbearing. A similar foe that they're going up against. Berry now under plenty of pressure, trying to make guys miss. He's going to go down and take a big sack.
And it's Logan O'Brien who makes the contact, not who brings Berry down, but you can see the house comes off the near side, and then Logan Bryan is there to stall Jackson Berry's escape, and because of that, Jackson Berry smartly falls to avoid taking any less yardage. It's a real risk that Chadron State just did. They ran a 3-deep kind of zone and allowed the rest of their players to storm that near side of the offensive line.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 23 to go for the Gorillas. They get really backed up here. Eagles showing pressure yet again. They'll bring it. Plenty of blitzers. Berry stepping up. Now he's going to move that far side. He's going to have to run on 3rd down and go out of bounds. So another big defensive stand by Chadron State.
And the goal of that play was not to pick up a first down. The goal is to get within kicking range for Austin Schmidt.
And they will bring him onto the field to try a very long field goal attempt.
it's going to be at least 50 yards, if not 53.
We'll see where he sets up at. He's going to set up at the 44. Tyler Antle will hold. The Eagles might try to come after this one.
His long on the season is 56. This one, 54.
He's got it away. It's got the distance, and it is no good yet again. So 0 of 2 start for Austin Schmidt, and that is how the first quarter of action will end. The Pittsburg State Gorillas lead the Chadron State Eagles 7-3. You're watching the Division II playoffs on ESPN+. Welcome back to the jungle in Southeast Kansas. Division II playoffs underway. Currently, the Gorillas lead the Eagles 7-3. Daryl, what did you see in that first quarter of action?
Well, the man right there, Jackson Berry, he hasn't shown out how we thought he would. He seems to be doing it all himself. He's under a lot of pressure right now in the backfield, so it's going to be important for him, and well, more so for the rest of his team, to find an open spot. You see a little bit of blood there. Things are getting chippy, Ryan, out there. And of course, Chadron State trying to make the best of what they've got. So far, defensively, they've been playing top-notch. They've gotten a little lucky with Austin Schmidt missing 2 field goals for Pittsburg State. But other than that, it's been stonewall for the Chadron State Eagles. However, they need to get their offense going, and right now, DJ Ralph enters the field to do just that.
For Chadron State's defense, I was very impressed with them in the first quarter. They shut down the Gorilla offense. Their only touchdown was on that big kick return on the opening play. For the Eagles, their defense was bend but don't break on that first quarter, and that's what you want to see from a defense. They gave up some yardage, but they shut it down when they needed to. Now Ralph coming in. First drive of the second quarter here. He'll have it 1st and 10. Back will switch to his left now. Ralph takes the snap. He's just going to give it off on a handoff. Plenty of room, but then brought down.
And we're seeing a couple of different backs in the game for the Eagles. This one here is going to be McMillian getting his first couple of carries for the Eagles now. We've seen Quincy Riker as well be one of those backs. Keeping fresh backs is huge, especially on the college level when the running game is a lot more prevalent.
Yeah, coming into the game, Quincy Riker had 642 yards rushing on this season, so pretty solid, and a guy that they're going to need to lean on throughout this game, and then they'll try to mix in some other backs with him as well to spell him. It's going to be another handoff to McMillan, and he's just absolutely stuffed by the Gorillas, stonewalled.
And there's that front line of Pittsburg State University, once again rearing their head. That front 7 just so good at stopping the run. Just getting to the next level is so tough with these linebackers who key it so well. But it's still important to attack because it opens up DJ Ralph, who hasn't had much going for him in the passing game. You can see there 3 for 6 with 1 interception and just 30 yards passing. A slow start for him, but if you stick to the run game, the passing lanes open up.
Yeah, a little bit over 90 yards only for him in their last game against Pueblo. Steps of the pocket now. He's under duress, trying to run. He evades defenders. He's going to have enough room for the first down, and he gets tackled inbounds. I thought he was just running out of bounds, and then he turned his head up and gained a couple more yards. Gorillas are going to need to account for the quarterback on defense. if they want to stop this Eagle offense, or they'll just keep slowly going down the field.
Yeah, and you can see the man who ends up making the tackle here for Pittsburg State University, he had a tough assignment there because he has to cover the drag route that's going right where Ralph ends up. And Quentin Kirby does his best to turn around and make a play on Ralph, but it's not until it's too late because he has to defend the pass first.
Going to line up in shotgun yet again. Takes a snap. This one, he's going to keep it himself, and Ralph is knocked down. The ball comes free. The Gorillas fall on it. It's going to be Gorilla football. Another turnover by the Eagle offense.
Blake Carr. I feel like a broken record saying his name, but he shows up again. He fills the right gap, breaks off of that attempting blocker, and what a form tackle by the young man. Drives through Ralph, forces a fumble, and the turnover margin is getting ugly.
It was just a textbook tackle. Hat on the football, forces it out, and the big fella takes a seat on the turnover thrown with his crown and staff. There is going to be a stoppage in play. Could they review it? It's going to be challenged by Coach Long.
Yeah, no surprise there whatsoever. It looked very close on that replay, so we will see if this one gets overturned. However, remember, the call on the field is a fumble, so it has to be undisputed evidence that it is not a fumble for it to be overturned. And you got to make sure that they get that. Blake Carr, though, redshirt freshman out of Clyde, Texas. I mean, he's just come up huge for Pittsburg State this season, playing in just his first year.
And then falling on the ball was Osahan Ogbivian, falling on the big fella for the Gorillas. That defensive line just jumping on the football. And that could be a very big turnover for Pittsburg State. They're trying to get their offense right now. If you could give it to them in Eagle territory already, that much closer.
I'm going to say the big thing for Pittsburg State right now is they've had good field position. They just cannot get past the 20-yard line.
No, they've struggled with that this year. They've stalled out. Take a look. This is what the refs are going to be seeing on their replay. Sam Carr, textbook tackle. I think it's out before Ralph hits the ground. From that angle, at least.
It's going to take a good angle to overturn it.
And the Gorilla fans are thinking they got the football right now, and their offense is going to have a chance to add to their lead. Eagles are waiting to see if they're going to be on offense or defense.
Either way,
if you're a coach here, it's almost difficult on these challenges because you have to prepare for both sides to happen. You have to prepare to be on defense, you have to prepare to be on offense. That's close.
It looks like it's moving. Yeah, you can see kind of in that one frame right there that it looks like it's moving before he hits the ground. It's all going to be, for lack of a better way to describe it, it's all going to be for whenever Ralph's gluteus maximus hits the ground.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. And we'll see what the refs decide on that part. As both teams await now. This is a close call. I mean, the ball starts moving very quickly to when he does hit the ground. Both teams still huddled up.
Yeah, we would like to remind you that what you're seeing from our point of view, our replays are not the cameras that the referees have, so they are probably going to have better angles over there to view that replay.
I would love to see their point of view. That's a tough one. I would love to see a field angle of that. I don't know what's going on in their little frame where they're trying to move it around.
It's so important to get it right, especially at this stage.
Yeah, such an important game for both of these teams, trying to keep their seasons going. And it's a pivotal point of the game here early in the second quarter. Both teams trying to establish momentum. We are going to get a call.
Well, defense is returning to the field for Pittsburg State.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Chadron State football. So a very big break for the Eagles there. So turnover margin stays 1-0. And here comes some subs for Pittsburg State. So a successful challenge by Coach Long there. Throws the red flag out. And you could see DJ Ralph. He was saying, I was down before that ball came out. He told his coach to challenge. Coach trusted his player, and it pays off.
Now, we still don't see the white hat emerge from that tent yet, so probably looking at time, trying to make sure that the correct time is going to be placed back on the clock. Also, checking down and distance, making sure everything is absolutely correct before they play this next snap.
Yeah, now the teams are on the field. There's the white hat making his way back on. Join these two teams.
Backside moves down prior to coming out. It'll be second down at the 49.
Well, there you hear it. The backside was down,
yeah.
Darryl.
Whatever terminology you want to use, his butt hit the ground before the ball came out. So it's still going to be Eagles ball. The good news for Pittsburg State, that's a tackle for loss, and it's second down and long.
Yeah, second and long. So still a positive play if you're the Gorillas. Great hit by Sam Carr. But for the Eagles, little deep breath there. You survive another turnover. You have the ball. Your offense has a chance to go get the lead. Ralph in the shotgun now. Tight end also kind of lined up in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Quincy Riker, and he's brought down. Ward got to him quickly.
There's one. Well, Ward comes up with the football, too. But he's obviously going to be down before that ball pops out. Still, that linebacking core for Pittsburg State has been phenomenal so far. You're going to see a few substitutions here, bringing in more of the pass rushing team, and also a D-back's going to come onto the field for one of those linebackers. Looks like we're going to get a two-safety look from Pittsburg State, making sure that they play some deep coverage.
You're going to get a nickel formation by the defense here. They do show a little bit of pressure. We'll see if they fall back or bring it. They'll bail. Ralph now under pressure, steps up, flips one to Quincy Riker, and his legs are upended.
Woo! Jordan Rogers with a big hit on Quincy Riker. And that's going to call on the punt team. I believe that's the punt team at least for Chadron State University. And they're going to bring in Special Teams Player of the Year in the RMAC, Brody Weisenbraun.
Weisenbraun will try to pin the Gorillas back deep. Medeiros back to return.
Uh-oh.
We could have a fake here. Or they might just try to draw the Gorillas off sides. See what Coach Long elects to do for the Eagles. They do line up. I think they're just trying to draw Pitt State off sides. And now the whistles will blow.
Well,
I almost say just take the delay of game there.
yeah. Absolutely. Take the delay of game.
Delay
That's
of
what they're
game.
going to do.
Offense.
It also gives Weisenbraun a little more room to work so he
down.
can coffin corner this kick. So it is a delay of game is what's going to be called. But, yeah, it gives Weisenbraun a little more room to put this kick in the corner and pin the Pitt State Gorillas back. Pitt State pretty disciplined on that play because they've run that package against Luke Nigaman a time or two.
Weisenbraun's punt is away, a contested one, and it is high punt. And it bounces at the 10, checks up there, rolls to about the 6-yard line after an Eagle hop, and Jackson Berry and the Gorilla offense will be pinned back deep to come on the field.
Well, you see a punter win Special Teams Player of the Year, usually there's a pretty good reason for it. And that right there is what it is.
And they're going to take a quick media timeout. And we'll be right back. You're watching the Division II playoffs on ESPN+. Welcome back to the jungle here. It is 7-3 Gorillas. Jackson Berry in this offense coming on the field, starting at their own 6-yard line. Darryl, they're going to need to go 94 yards down the field to go score.
Yeah, and they haven't had a problem on this side of the field. The problems have come in the red zone. But once again, when you're pushed back deep, all you're looking for is to get your punter some room. I hate to be so negative or pessimistic for an oncoming drive, but still, that's really what you're looking for, is to make sure you can flip field position.
Well, and I think there are problems in the red zone. I mean, that's just a credit to the Eagles defense. They've been a very stout group today, and they've stood tall when it matters most. This time going to be a handoff. Khalil Chandler trying to find room, and the Eagles are all over him.
You see just the counter play there for Pittsburg State. Going to have a couple of pulling men around, but all the gaps are filled by the Eagles. And it's a tackle at the line of scrimmage. So still a long way to go for Pittsburg State.
Another thing to mention about the Gorillas offense, they have dominated time of possession this year against opponents. So that is one thing for the Eagles. They need to sustain drives, keep their offense on the field, and get the Gorillas offense off. This time, handoff, Khalil Chandler, the C parts. He's got plenty of space, brought down past the 25.
And all those RPOs that you've seen throughout the game, Jackson Berry sells so well. And that's what opens up that gap for Khalil Chandler.
Another handoff, it's Chandler, and then he's quickly brought down. Back-to-back run plays for the Gorillas, getting positive yards, that time a short one gain. Second down coming up. Jackson Berry in shotgun. Chandler is back. Berry's going to keep this one, sing it out to Atkins Jr., and then he gets his leg swept out from under him.
Atkins Jr. holds the lone touchdown on the day for either team. And they're just trying to get him a little more active on the outside. Just a very clear run play. However, Damian Long needs to get there and make that block on Logan O'Brien.
And now for the Gorillas, the Luke Nigaman package coming onto the field. He's a tight end for the Gorillas. They put him in Wildcat in these short yardage situations. He'll most likely be keeping the ball here. Nigaman gets the call from the sideline. Takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, going right, and he gets stopped close to the line to gain from that marker. I believe he's picked up the first down, and he has.
Luke Nigaman currently listed as a 6'3" tight end, but if you ever have seen him in person, he's got to be more like 6'5". He is just a big dude, and the whole goal of that package is to let him fall forward. That's why they bring him in on the short distance and short yardage situations, is to give him a chance just to use that big body and fall forward for first downs. That's what he does.
Do not give him a lane, though, because when he does get his legs moving, he can be very quick. Berry now trying to run a bootleg, and he's going to need to just throw this one away, and he will. Just nowhere to go that time for Jackson Berry as he was getting chased by Eagles quickly.
Yeah, and a lot of fans over there want intentional grounding, and so is Coach talking to referee about that. But the heads-up play from Jackson Berry, he had a tight end out there in Jaden Knight. Jaden Knight was blocking on the play, but still, when you're listed as an eligible receiver, you count at all times as a receiver on the play. So that results in no intentional grounding as he was intended.
Berry going to shovel it pass forward to Knight, who's brought down.
The Gorillas are getting creative in their playbook here. A lot of interesting plays coming out for them. You don't often see the tight end shovel pass, but right there we see it. And that's just kind of more of a triple option there for Berry. I'm sure that he has the option there to take that and run if he so chooses to. However, he flips it off to Knight, and a nice little positive gain to put him at third and manageable.
Berry lines up in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right. Dropping back, he looks that way, he fires, and his man has caught it. Cross picks up the first down.
Yep.
Or Long, excuse me.
Good catch there by Damian Long. They call that route a black route. It's because when you're going over the middle, you're likely to black out from the hit. However, doesn't take a big one there, holds on to the ball, picks up a huge first down that crosses field position and puts the Gorillas in plus territory.
Chandler will be his running back to his right. 3 receivers again to Barry's right. Takes the snap, dropping back, looking to his right yet again, steps up, fires one downfield, got tied in, and it's going to be caught by Luke Nigaman.
Well, there you have it. Normally short yardage scenarios for Mr. Nigaman, but this time running the wheel route on the outside, and he is just lost in coverage. If this ball is put a little more out in front of him, he has a chance to score that one.
I told you he's got good legs when you can get him going. That time beat the defender, swinging it out very quickly to Travis, who's brought down for a short gain. Not much going for Jalen Travis there.
But you kind of start to feel Jackson Berry, his accuracy is growing, his momentum is growing, and his confidence is growing here in this playoff matchup. They're going to him more and more and more, and he's starting to find his targets.
Barry is going to have Nigaman and Chandler in the backfield. Takes a snap, dropping back, looking to throw. Now he's going to scramble, just going to his right, and is going to run out of bounds. Gets a short gain on the play. .547 left here in the second quarter. The Gorillas, this is where they've stalled out, Daryl. They've struggled in the red zone.
Absolutely, they have, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 3 yards to go, and Jackson Berry has started to catch fire in this game, just under 100 yards. And like we mentioned, whenever he can catch fire, man, he can go. So you got to keep him in the pocket, keep him intact, and do not let him gain any momentum.
Barry in the shotgun, Chandler to his left. Barry is going to take it. He's going to fire it to Long, but Long makes a falling catch. Long will pick up the first down for Pittsburg State. They'll have it 1st and goal. Daryl, can they finally get over the hump?
Maybe so. This is such a tough play by Jackson Berry. The rolling throw to the boundary is one of the toughest throws to make, especially when a right-handed quarterback is rolling out to the left. It's a real experienced move by a quarterback to be able to throw that one, but also a great catch by Damian Long on the boundary. A diving grab that gets overlooked in the long run.
Jackson Berry in the shotgun, lone back to his right, takes it, hands off. Cleo Chandler, the veteran, going towards the 5, and they will mark him at the 5-yard line between the 5 and the 4.
So we've seen nonstop Cleo Chandler on this drive, the veteran back getting all the carries beyond Luke Nigaman with the keeper. It's going to be interesting to see if they keep going with him down low. More of a bruiser. When you get him into open space, he doesn't really break free that often. He needs to unhook the trailer. But down in these short yardage scenarios, a semi is usually often preferable.
Pistol formation now. Chandler will line up behind Barry. Barry will take it. Hand off. Cleo Chandler going towards the goal line. He barrels across it. Touchdown, Gorillas. They add to their lead.
And I mentioned the strength. The strength of Cleo Chandler. He gets stood up on the 1-yard line, but those legs do not stop moving. And he forces his way into the end zone, and Pittsburg State takes a 10-point lead.
They take a 10-point lead with 4:03 remaining. They bring Austin Schmidt back on the field. This is a good extra point for him just to get some confidence back and see one go through the uprights. Good hold, good snap. It's up, and it is good. No problem. Pittsburg State takes a 14-3 lead over Chadron State.
And that's going to be crucial, like you mentioned, for Austin Schmidt. Just to see one go through the uprights is going to help him gain some confidence going into the latter part of the game. But you look over there at the Eagles and their huddle. What's the message right there from Coach?
Right now, I'm looking at my offense. We got 4:03, so we have plenty of time, but we're going to go score on this drive. We're not getting 3. We're getting ourselves in the end zone. We're not going to force it in one play. You can't overcome this lead in one play. I need to see a good drive put together by my offense right here. I'm going to go score. I'll take all 4:03 if I have to, if I'm coach.
Well, you have to. At this point in the matchup, if you do not score right here, things are looking pretty dire. Now, I will say that Pittsburg State did receive the opening kickoff, so Chadron State has a chance here to go back-to-back. Should they take all 4 minutes off the clock, score a touchdown, they have a chance to really even this game up.
You enter the important 8 right here, the middle 8 as they call it, and it's the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. Now a lane, Eagles looking to make some fireworks, makes a man miss, and then brought down past the 45-yard line. Darryl, we almost saw another one get ran back.
I mean, you got to stop kicking off to this side of the field. It seems like this is the lucky side for teams. A great return on there by the Eagles, fielded about the 7-yard line. It just picks a lane. It's this right here, though. Such a clutch play by Kosicki, the kickoff specialist, who stops the momentum of the returner and doesn't allow him to get that full head of steam, and it allows a Pitt State man to chase him down from behind.
That was Chase Nelson with the return, almost sparking the Eagles with some points. And now Ralph will come back on the field. Back will line up to his right. Takes a snap. A reverse action. They get it to Tommy Thomas, but he's got nowhere to go. All over Tommy Thomas that time.
Quentin Kirby with a great angle to make that tackle. Just going off the edge of the outside linebacker, or the outside tackle for the offense as well. Scraping that edge and keeping a good angle, not allowing the boundary for Tommy Thomas, because if he gets outside, he uses that speed to his advantage. Kirby, the last line of defense, and he holds strong.
Pearson, the back, lined up to Ralph's right. Ralph taking the snap. He's just going to give it on a handoff. Pearson's got room, and he dives forward for a solid gain. So the Eagles need, that was a big second down play for Chadron State to make this 3rd and short now.
It's been a tough day on 3rd down for the Eagles so far, but on the season, sitting at around 35%. Not the greatest conversion percentage.
Where they've had success today is when they've got Ralph out of the pocket, and he's done it with his legs. He's done a good job scrambling today. I give him an option here to run the football. He lines up in the shotgun. Pearson still is back. He takes the snap. He is going to keep it himself. Tries to spin the opposite way, going towards the Eagles sideline. Flips it upfield. He's got Pearson. What a throw. What a catch. They got the first down.
And Chadron State gets a little lucky. They had an offensive lineman making his way down the field. But they're going to get away with it, and they're going to get a nice little first down. And what a heads-up play by Ralph to find the open man. Stays calm under pressure. Just moves around in the pocket, scans the field, finds an open receiver.
Yeah, I don't know how he had a lane to see where his guy was, but was able to dump it off to his back and move the chains and get a fresh set of downs. And that'll be the 2-minute timeout.
This is the 2-minute timeout. Please set the game clock. 2 minutes.
The Pittsburg State Gorillas have a 14-3 lead over the Chadron State Eagles. You're watching the Division II playoffs on ESPN+. 2 minutes remain in the first half of action. The Eagles are soaring down the field, and they're trying to get on the board with their first touchdown of the day.
The fans enjoying the YMCA out here. The student section for Pittsburg State travels well, but so did Chadron State as they made that 11-hour drive for their team And they have showed out today, coming all the way from Chadron, Nebraska, just over 700 miles, Ryan. So you got to wonder how that's affecting Chadron State. Obviously, they probably got in last night, were able to come out today, warm up their legs a little bit. But still, traveling sucks, and it really hurts away teams.
It's going to be a handoff for Pearson. Got a lead blocker, but he's brought down. And that's going to be Holtz yet again. And we might see some extracurricular here. Ref's going to let him play. And I like that. It wasn't a big bump. The offensive guy trying to draw a little bit of a foul, almost like in basketball. But, yeah, I pulled in today, Daryl, for when I came to meet you for our production meeting, and I saw Eagles fans outside tailgating, a good number of them, as I pulled in the jungle. Good to see, coming all the way down from Chadron, Nebraska, like you said.
Absolutely so. But I do want to give credit to this crew right now, the referee crew, I should say. They've called a real clean game. Not a lot of penalties being thrown so far, and I like them keeping consistent like
Ralph,
that.
under pressure, this one swatted down.
Did you wonder if Sam Holtz was feeling better after he was injured on the play? Right there, he storms through the offensive line, and the Bear puts a big paw in the face of Ralph and makes him throw it quickly, and then it's swatted down by that extra defender for Pittsburg State.
Yeah, Eli Wilcox swats it down. I mean, if he catches that clean, Wilcox is going to the end zone. And so now it's 3rd down for the Eagles, 1:17. This could be their last attempt here of the first half to get more points on the board. The jungle realizes how big this play is. They get loud for their home defense. Ralph takes a snap, dropping back, looking to throw. It's swatted down. It's caught by an offensive lineman. He's rumbling and stumbling towards the first down, but he stopped short.
What a play by the offensive lineman. A feat of athleticism there. We're going to see if the call stands and they allow him to advance. They should. I mean, it was tipped in the air. That becomes a...
Ruling on the field is a tip pass. Cost by an offensive lineman. It's a completed pass.
Yes, and they do let it stand, and that is the right call. I believe that's Zhao Chan with the number 79 for the Eagles. Getting a reception there.
Big 4th down here, Ryan.
Yeah,
it looks like they're going to go for it.
4th down here to end the first half, and Coach Tom Anthony going to take a timeout and talk this one over with his team. Just under a minute remains.
Smart move by Coach Anthony. He is 0-1 in the playoffs as a head coach, losing his one attempt last season. But that does not mean he is not experienced in the playoffs, being a defensive coach for Pittsburg State for a few years while they made a couple of deep runs.
Yeah, they went on some deep runs. His last game as a defensive coordinator came in the 2022 season, where he faced off and they lost to Ferris State eventually. And then he took off the 23 season, returned in the 24, and now again the head coach in 25. He took over for when Coach Wright of the Gorillas went to Northern Arizona. And you mentioned his loss last year. That was against Harding University, a very solid group down in Arkansas. Harding right now facing off against Northwest Missouri State, who the Gorillas beat last week. Harding is up 24-7 over the Bearcats right now. And so, the winner of this will play the winner of that one. So
exactly
one to keep
what
an
I was
eye
going to say. The winner of this game will move on to face off against the winner of that one. So it's important to keep updated on that score, and we'll try and keep you updated as much as we can and as many updates as we can throughout the game.
And now it looks like field goal unit going to come on the field for the Eagles. Could see a fake here, but I like taking the points here. Take the 3, make it back to a 1-possession game if he converts this. Big field goal here in this game coming up for the Eagles. Good snap, good hold. It's blocked by the Gorillas. It's a free ball. Madero scoops it up, trying to go down the sideline and then hit down. Gorillas special teams making play after play.
It's often called the forgotten side of the ball, but right now it is winning the battle for Pittsburg State. I want to see who got a hand on this one.
Yeah, Wilson Yee kicks it up, and then it's just swatted down and blocked. The Gorillas front line all over it.
And that's going to be Ogbevion, who gets the big paw in the air and swats that one down. He already made a visit to the turnover thrown, recovering that fumble that didn't end up being a fumble, but he gets his redemption there, swats it out of the air, and the big man is the hero on the sideline.
Barry is going to bring his offense on the field. They got 52 seconds here to go down the field with the veteran quarterback. Swings it out quickly to Jalen Travis. and gets positive yards on first down. 47 seconds left. Gorillas lead it by 11, trying to add to their lead before the break.
And I imagine we'll see a lot more plays like that. Short side of the field. Notice that far corner is pushed way back off of Travis on that far side. We're also going to see Grayson Holbert go over there. So you got two receivers facing off against one man who's playing the flat and one man who's playing deep. We'll see if they attack that with a level style play.
Yeah, it's a stack formation for the Gorillas receivers. They've ran this a lot this season, had success with it. Barry now going to roll under a lot of pressure. He's going to take a sack. He goes down.
It's the one thing you cannot do in a situation of 2 minutes or less, and that is take a sack. Cooper Walton, he's able to chase down the elusive man, and on that play you can see he's just playing quarterback spy, and as soon as Jackson Berry takes any inch out of the pocket, he is designed to go and attack.
And I think the Gorillas are just going to let this clock run out and take it in to the halftime as it winds down. They don't need to snap the ball again before the break, and looks like Barry will just stand there and start to walk his way to the locker room. And so going into the halftime, Daryl, the Pittsburg State Gorillas have a 14-3 lead over the Chadron State Eagles. When we come back at halftime, Daryl and I will go over some stats, highlights, and updates from across the country. You won't want to miss that. We'll be back at halftime. After this, you're watching the Division II playoffs on ESPN+. Welcome back. It is halftime here in the jungle. The Pittsburg State Gorillas have a 14-3 lead over the Chadron State Eagles. If you're just joining us, I'm Ryan McCullough, joined alongside Daryl McLeod. Daryl, it started with fireworks, and then things kind of slowed down in the first half. And it was kind of bend but don't break from both defenses here. You take a look at some of the replays in the first half. This is how the game started. Taiwan Atkins Jr. make a man miss, and he's off to the races. And there was nobody in the state of Kansas that was going to catch him.
Absolutely not. However, Chadron State would go back on the other side and answer back with a field goal to keep this game within 4 points.
They would answer it with a field goal there, and then you're going to take a look at this Gorilla defense all over the quarterback and the leader. Coming away with an interception, Jordan Rogers. What a big play there, and that was when the Eagles were starting to drive down the field. Khalil Chandler would finally get the Gorillas offense their first touchdown of the day to make it 14-3, and then it was Gorillas special teams making the plays to keep it 14-3 before the break. The Eagles would stop the Gorillas offense on their last drive, and that would keep it as just 14-3, an 11-point game. You take a look at some of the stats here from the first half. Not many penalties. We were talking about that. Just one. It was done by the Eagles. First downs. Gorillas have 4 more first downs. Their drives have lasted a little longer, and that's been the key to that. Rushing yards almost identical, only a 2-yard difference. But the difference in this game, I would say, has been Jackson Berry. And there you see it with the passing yards. He's got 108 yards compared to Ralph. He's only got 59 yards passing. And then Gorillas have created 2 turnovers, to the Eagles none.
Yeah, these stats are relatively similar. Both these teams are playing relatively similar games. As you said, rushing yards just 2 away. Chadron State lacking on the first down category and also time of possession. But you saw it. Special teams has been the difference so far. Pitt State has missed 2 field goal attempts. Austin Schmidt, that's unlike him. He had a little bit of drop in confidence from that. But the kick return on the opening play of the game, the first 12 seconds, Ryan, results in 7 points for the Pittsburg State Gorillas. And then the blocked field goal. And then also you have the interception. You have all these things happening in favor of Pittsburg State. It's a miracle that this game is only at 11 points right now.
Yeah, it's only an 11-point game. The Gorillas, both teams really, have missed opportunities on offense to extend their leads and keep this going. For the Eagles here on this first drive, they just need to come out and sustain a drive on offense. And they've gotten down the field a couple times, and then they've kind of had broken plays, and they busted, and they've allowed a Gorillas defense to push them back. You're going to need a good performance here by your offensive line in the second half to make a comeback victory. It's only an 11-point game, though, Daryl. Still a lot of football left to play.
Absolutely there is. And you mentioned it a little bit earlier that the winner of this game will go on to face off against the winner between Harding and Northwest Missouri State. Currently it's at halftime up there, and it's a 24-10 score. So Harding has the lead at half. And then also kind of a surprise, Colorado State Pueblo is currently trailing to Permian Basin 10-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, could we have our first upset of the postseason brewing there with Colorado State Pueblo possibly going down the Permian Basin, down 10-0 at the half like you just said. But when Daryl and I return, it'll be time for the second half of action in the jungle. You're watching the Division II playoffs on ESPN+. We are just over a minute away from the second half kickoff. Daryl, I'm going to let you take a look here.
Yeah, if you look around Division II playoffs right now and the bracket, how it stands, we have got an important score update for you. Valdosta State currently leading in the fourth quarter over Albany State. Albany State is the number 1 seed on that region. So that score is 30-28 right now in the fourth quarter. Wingate winning 17-0, number 4 seed on that region. West Florida is winning 15-7, and Newberry, the number 3 seed, currently leading Kentucky State 31-24. A lot of close games in that region right now. Taking a look at Kutztown, who had a dominant victory over Bentley today. Keep an eye on them moving forward as they're trying to make a deep run in the playoffs. Ferris State, number 1 team in the country for a long portion of this season. One is winning currently their game 58-14 with a minute to go, so they'll move on to the second round of the playoffs, and it looks like they'll face off against Ashland, who is winning their game 30-7. If you want a deeper look at all those score updates and the bracket, go to ncaa.com and go to scores in Division II football for more information.
Yeah, we keep mentioning that Harding Northwest game is the one to watch. It's 24-10. But I think the other bracket that you really have to look at before this thing gets reseeded is the Ferris State bracket, because that is probably going to be where the Bulldogs come out of, the defending national champions. And we are underway for the second half of action. And it will be a touchback, and Ralph and the Eagles will come on the field for their first drive of the second half, try to establish some momentum. They need to set the tone early here in the second half.
Yes, they do. Something I want to mention, though, is that man who just caught the fair catch, Nelson, won the Player of the Week last week in the special teams category. So a dangerous returner there, and honestly, Pitt State's been lucky to not see him return the ball. We saw that one chance that he had, and he got it all the way to about midfield.
Yeah, almost a house call when he finally did, able to return one. Nonetheless, second half of action underway. Tommy Thomas will go in motion. And it will be a handoff to Thomas, trying to make guys miss, evading gorillas before he's brought down by 3 people.
And something that the Chadron State Eagles did not do well was get the ball to Tommy Thomas. He only had 2 attempts in that entire first half. And coming in the second half, it's clear they want to get him the ball. He runs a little orbit motion, comes back around, fields the jet sweep. Doesn't go for long, but get him the ball, and plays will break open.
Second down and 8 to go for the Eagles. Ralph in the shotgun, 1 back to his right. Takes it, hand off to Pearson, trying to make guys miss, and he stood up and brought down. Not much room for Pearson on second down. It'll bring up third.
I believe that's Stephen Ward that made the tackle. Just comes in off that outside linebacker spot, grabs the leg of Pearson, and holds on for dear life.
Ralph back in shotgun, Pearson to his right. 2 receivers will be at the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Sends him in motion. All receivers now at the top. Takes the snap, dropping. He's going to roll to that far sideline. Now he's going to run, get it himself, right at the line to gain before he's upended by Rogers. And they will give him the first down. What a hit by Jordan Rogers.
Man, oh man. There was some pop behind that hit. That's a scary one to see if you're a coach, and you'll just watch here. Ralph scanning the field. He decides to take off with it. That's not the man you want to meet at the line to gain.
And you mentioned the Eagles, and you talk about him taking a big hit. This is their 3rd quarterback this season, Daryl. They don't really want to see themselves going through another quarterback. And you see some blood there on the elbow starting to form. He's in shotgun yet again. Pearson is back. This one's going to be a keeper by Ralph. He's trying to throw and just has to swing it out of bounds. And Rogers gets a hand on it, and the receiver looks shocked. Flag now comes out. This could be a pass interference.
Yeah, this has got to be on the offensive side, as that receiver was blocking the entire time. If this goes on Jordan Rogers, I'd be amazed.
Now the refs come together, and we await the call. There's another flag on the far side.
Looks like that one's going to be picked up.
Not many flags thrown today, so they got to get back in mode.
2 fouls on the play. Ineligible player downfield on the offense. Penalties declined. Pass interference. Offense, number 11. 15 yards. Still first down.
A couple fouls on the play there, both against the offense.
Yeah, that penalty that is accepted goes against Roland George III. And if you watch that replay, you could see it. He was just blocking the entire time. He was expecting Ralph to run the ball, did not expect the pass option. You can see Ralph still struggling today against its Pitt State secondary.
Ralph was trying to throw that one away. He just needed to be close to someone, not get that intentional grounding, and almost got intercepted, but makes a PI on his own guy as he gets dropped for a sack. Number 95 for the Gorillas defensive line getting the sack that time. Jeremy Sharp, he's had a fantastic season for the Gorillas.
Absolutely. Red shirt senior. You would imagine in his last season, potential last season, I should say, that he is going to show out as much as he can, and especially in a playoff scenario.
2nd down and 28 for the Eagles offense. 3 receivers lined up at the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top, 1 back to his left. Swings it out quickly. He's got Thomas trying to find room on the near sideline and then escorted out of bounds by King and Fuchsa.
Yeah, there was a key block laid early on Jordan Rogers, and that opened up some space for Tommy Thomas. You can see it just on the top of your screen there. A nice block laid on Rogers, who's been, by the way, one-on-one on Tommy Thomas all night long. You can watch it on the field. Anywhere number 4 goes, number 7 matches on the other side.
It's been a fun one to watch. 3 receivers now going to be at the top of your screen. 1 at the bottom. Schlabs will be the receiver at the bottom for the Eagles. It's 3rd and 24. Ralph dropping back, bobbles a snap, now having to step up in the pocket, throws it out wide. He's got his man. It's caught and then wrapped up by Jordan Rogers. Gorilla defense all over the Eagles.
I don't want to jinx the young man out there, but someone is playing a perfect game, and that someone is Jordan Rogers. That's textbook defense. You got a 3rd and very long to go, so you sink back in coverage. Even though you're playing the flat as that cornerback, you are allowed to sink back 15 yards. And so he does that. He's just waiting for the play to be made. He sees that throw, and he just attacks. He flies forward and uses his speed. And when he does that, he makes the tackle. He doesn't miss.
And the punt is away, a spiraling punt that checks up and is returned by Medeiros. He's got a little space, and then he just goes down. It looked like he started to almost bobble the ball, so he decided to go down where he's at, not risk losing it.
I mean, I always enjoy seeing a player fight for extra yardage, but I also enjoy players holding on to the football.
He has muffed one this season. That one came against Nebraska Corny. Washburn, who it came against, and ended up being a touchdown for the Ichabods.
We're going to see Pelode Gary return to the field for the Gorillas. We'll see if the running attack continues with him. Now, you got the lead 14-3. You shut them down on their first drive of the game. Time to start thinking about the clock and how you're going to milk it.
The Gorillas have a great running game that they will try to lean on. And this second half, as you see Gary fall forward for a couple yards there, the second half is when the Gorillas really start to dominate that time of possession and really start to string it on. They've had more than half of their wins this season where they've doubled their opponent in time of possession. This time they'll have it in 2nd down and 7. Barry will readjust Gary. Jackson Berry swings it out to Grayson Holbert on this far near sideline, and he's drugged down. Got drugged down by Uradai. Bring up 3rd down for Pittsburg State. What a great open field tackle.
This 3rd down here could spell a lot of offensive plays for Pittsburg State. It's right in that yardage for basically everything in the playbook to be open.
Barry lines up in shotgun. He'll send Grayson Holbert in motion. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. And that's going to draw the foul.
We'll see who it's going to be on, though, because usually a player doesn't react like that.
He says false start. And the refs huddle together to get the call. So we await the decision, and they break free. Here was the call.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, naturally, that call's not received well.
Well, the Chadron State fans are giving it back to the Pitt State student section who was chanting, "You can't do that" to the Eagles, and it ends up being a penalty against the Gorillas. Crowd having a little friendly banter. Make it 3rd and 10 now for the Gorillas. 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. He'll send Cleo Chandler out wide. It's a screen play to Jalen Travis, and the tunnel screen is not going to pick up the first down. It'll be 4th and 4.
Yeah, no need to take any risks here either. Coach Tom Anthony immediately goes to the punting team and his nice young punter, Tyler Antle.
Yeah, Tyler Antle, he's done a good job flipping field this year for the Gorillas. He's had a couple been able to pin down inside the 5. So both punters pretty solid for both of these teams. Of course, like you mentioned, for Chadron State, Weisenbraun, an all-conference punter. This one is a end-over-end punt, and he's tattooed at the 15. Whoa.
That's going to be Cam Gillespie, who makes the tackle for Pittsburg State University. A big hit for them there, and with 8:51 remaining, Pittsburg State still controls this game.
Yeah, 8:51 remaining here. Gorillas lead by 11. Eagles have got to get something going on offense on this drive, Darryl. Couldn't get much going in the first drive. They've got to find a way to start getting down the field here.
Taking a look at that tackle, Gillespie just coming and flying down the field, and immediately Nelson is brought down on the play. So it's going to be a long drive here for Chadron State, but as it's 14-3, they have to get something going offensively because the Pitt State defense has been stifling.
Yeah, you look at that, 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 37 total tackles, and they've just been absolute nails today. They've given up some big plays at times, but they made the stop, and then they've stopped them when they got down the field. They gave up the 3 points when it was just a 7-3 game, and ever since then, I mean, they've been all over the Eagles' offense. And DJ Ralph has just had no room to operate, constantly under duress, constantly having to move around in the pocket and get outside. You take a look at the Gorilla student section. It's important to note it's Thanksgiving break for them, so those students choosing to stay in Pittsburgh and cheer on their Gorillas. And they hope they get to watch them get a home playoff game. Of course, if you're an Eagles fan, you're hoping you get to see your team come all the way down here, beat the all-time winningest Division II team, a team that has a 3-0 record against you. Get your first one on the board there. Go back to Chadron, Nebraska, and get ready for what looks like it could be the Bison.
Yeah, which would be a longer travel for them.
And I think their fans are okay with that, Darryl. I think if they can get the win here, they would gladly go on down to Harding.
Road is just a road.
And it looks like, yeah, a quarterback change is going to come in now for the Eagles. And he's going to keep this one on a direct snap and just nowhere to go. Quarterback draw, and the Gorillas stuff it out all over it that time. Wyatt Sprue, nowhere to go. And now DJ Ralph will come back into the game. So just that one play call, a little more mobile maybe, and nothing going.
I mean, Wyatt Sprague, he's just a redshirt freshman. Looks pretty solid. He's got the build to be a good-time quarterback here in Division II football. 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Holyoke, Colorado. And, hey, he enjoys farming, it says on his bio. Those farm kids, built tough.
Ralph back in the game, dropping back to pass. He fires one downfield. It's caught by Tommy Thomas. It's going to be a foot race to the pylon. King trying to run him down. He will. Big play for the Eagles. A flag is down. This could be defensive pass interference, Darryl.
And I imagine it will be because of how they were tangled up on that play. And, yeah, I already see the signal from the referee. It's going to be on the defense. What a bomb thrown to Tommy Thomas. Finally, we see him.
Defense, number 4. The penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
Finally.
It is going to go against the Gorillas. A massive, much-needed play for the Eagles. Take a look at it.
Yeah, there was holding on that side, and it tripped up the cornerback, the man who actually committed the penalty. But, man, Reginald King, a chase down tackle if Chadron State ends up only picking a field goal here, King is going to be the hero.
Chadron State, a chance, a big opportunity here to get 6 points on the board. It is going to be a handoff, making a couple guys miss. Darting forward, picks up a nice gain. That'll be Quincy Riker, the ball carrier. That also will get Tommy Thomas over 900 yards receiving this season. So a quality year for the young man.
Yeah, what a good year.
Second down coming up for the Eagles offense. Ralph sends a man in motion. It's going to be another handoff. Strung out wide. Nowhere to go. The Gorillas are all over it.
You heard an exclamation from the crowd. I think they wanted a holding penalty, but it was solid blocking there by the offensive tackle. Just a great play by that defensive end to stay outside and force McMillian to bounce it out. It causes him to slow down a little bit, and that allows linebackers to scrape to their position. And once they do, they make the tackle for loss. Third down and long here, and Reginald King and his hustle play is starting to look more and more like the hero.
Write this one down, the key plays of the game. A very important 3rd and 6 coming up for both of these teams. A pivotal down. DJ Ralph takes a snap, dropping back. He's under pressure, fading away, has a man open. Scalbs towards the goal line, spins. He's down at the 1. Slabs almost getting in the end zone for the Eagles. They'll have it 1st and goal.
And it's just cut off on your screen there, but a little bit of a pick play run by Preston Pearson. He just kind of nudges just a little bit that cornerback that was guarding Schlabs on the play, and because of that, Schlabs opens up and gets free, forces it down to the 2-yard line. This is an important stand for Pitt State defense as momentum is on the Eagles' side.
And it's important the Eagles finish this drive. You need a touchdown. Quincy Riker the back. Handoff will go to Riker, and the Gorillas drop him for a loss. Big play by the Gorillas defense on 1st and goal. The Eagles offensive line needs to hold up here. You've got to create a hole for your back to get through.
Ogbevion is having a day out there. Has the blocked field goal, had a fumble recovery that ended up getting overturned, and now makes a huge tackle for loss. He exits the game here because it looks like the Eagles are going for a little bit of a lighter set, a couple receivers on the field.
Ogbevion, only a redshirt freshman too. The Gorillas love what they have with him. I would love to see a crossing pattern here if it's going to be a pass. Ralph will keep it. He almost loses the ball, able to save it, but then brought down at the 3-yard line. Oh my gosh, what a disastrous turnover that would have been.
And a huge hit by Tayshawn McDaniels, laying the boom on Ralph. A heads-up play by Ralph, though. Cuts inside, and he saw pay dirt there for a minute. We're going to see some of those heavier guys come back on the field, and Ogbevion returns.
It's 3rd and goal at the 3-yard line. The jungle rises to its feet. Both sets of fans on the feet for 3rd and goal. Ralph takes a snap. He's going to keep it. Looking to pass. Trying to scramble. Nowhere to go. The Gorillas drop him for a sack.
Kairos Martin and Stephen Ward in to get the sack together. Kairos Martin was the one who caused the first pressure. Stephen Ward forced Ralph to stop in his tracks, and that allowed Kairos Martin to catch up from behind. 4th down and long, and we're going to see the Eagles go for it with 7 yards between them and potentially the rest of their season.
Well, Daryl, write this one down too in the key plays of the game. It's 4th and 7. They're 58% on the year on 4th down. And we're going to have a timeout called by Coach Long and the Eagles. Daryl, I know they haven't been able to get in the end zone today, but you're 7 yards away. I almost just take the 3 points and make it a 1-possession game.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. It's only the 3rd quarter.
Take the points, make it a 1-possession game, get a stop, get the ball back.
Because
if you don't get this on 4th and 7, you completely throw the momentum back to Pitt State.
Absolutely, and something to note is that Kairos Martin did exit the field. He looked a bit shaken up, and he was sitting down there on the medical benches getting looked at by a trainer. So we'll see if he re-enters the game. But down on the field, it's big decision time for the Chadron State Eagles. Quick update from down south in Arkansas. Harding now up over Northwest Missouri State. I believe the score is now, what, 31-10?
And then also going back to Colorado State Pueblo and UT Permian Basin, that score is now 17-3, Pueblo down.
Wow.
So we could have a big upset going on in Colorado right now. And here it is, folks, 4th and goal. They will go for it. Ralphin lines up his Eagles from the 7-yard line. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Tommy Thomas one-on-one at the bottom. Ralph will throw to Thomas. One-on-one coverage. Tries to make the play. Does he reel it in? He's got the ball. Touchdown, Eagles.
Did he make that catch? Oh, my goodness.
Tommy Thomas doing what only he can do.
If this call stands, that might be one of the best catches I've ever seen.
Take a look at it. DJ Ralph, I mentioned it was one-on-one. You got your best guy. You throw it up to him and give him a chance to make a play, and he does. And now it's 2-point time to make this a 3-point game. Eagles quickly line up for the 2-point conversion, and whistles are going to blow timeout Pittsburg State.
And I see Coach Tom Anthony has that red flag in his hand. We'll see if it hits the field.
He's holding it. He's looking at the official.
I heard a lot of oohs and ahs from that Pitt State student section. I don't think they think he caught it, of course. Well, but now it's up to Coach Tom Anthony to decide.
You take a look at it there. From that angle, he might have bobbled. It's hard to tell. Either way, what a play by Tommy Thomas. And it looks like Coach Anthony's going to put that red challenge flag back in his pocket. He is going to challenge it. He just told the ref. He showed him the flag, challenged it, puts it back in his pocket. So we will have a review here. Daryl, he might have bobbled it.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. The ruling on the field was a catch for a touchdown. So it's got to be, once again, undisputable evidence that he did not catch that ball. Now, the question is obviously not going to be if he got his feet down. He got his whole knee down in bounds. Just a spectacular feat of athleticism there from Tommy Thomas. The question is going to be whether or not he bobbled that going to the ground. He has to maintain control throughout the catch. Now, he came up with it clean, so the end of the catch was fine. It's just whether or not that ball hit the ground while he was going towards the ground.
Yeah, it's going to be, did he control and maintain possession of that before he went out of bounds? You want to talk about a big call for the officials coming up in this game.
Man, I'd hate to be the white hat in this scenario. Tough decision to make. But if it goes in the favor of the Eagles, Tommy Thomas has been the hero of this drive. He got them in the red zone with that huge pass.
Here's a different angle for you.
See, the catch is made there.
And it's, I don't know, that's the ball right here, Daryl, where I'm pointing to you.
Yeah, right
it's
there.
Hard to tell.
If you see it right when he brings it down, because it's going to be, whoa. It's going to be right as soon as the ball gets towards the pylon. Okay, well, either way, right when that ball gets close to the pylon, he kind of swings it down, and I think that's going to be the decider of whether or not this comes back as a catch.
I don't know if I ever see it hit the ground, but it's going to be, is it bobbling in his hands as he goes out of bounds? I don't know. The refs are going to decide if they see that football moving.
Either way,
Tommy Thomas is a dude.
And what a gutsy call by head coach.
Yeah, 4th and 7, but I mentioned he was one-on-one for a reason, Daryl. You get your best guy in one-on-one coverage, you give him a chance to make a play, especially when your quarterback may not be as experienced in playing time, a little shaky on the road. Give him a chance, one-on-one, throw it up to your best guy to go make a play.
I mean, Jay Long, head football coach here at Chadron State, he just really, it takes guts to make this kind of call.
Here's that zoomed-in replay. Whew, it's hard to tell.
It's going to be close.
I see it hard to overturn. And the way Chadron State's celebrating,
I think it's a catch.
I think it's a catch.
I think it's
going to stand.
Because watch, it's right when he comes down to the pylon.
And they signal touchdown on the Chadron State side, and it should be a 2-point conversion coming up for the Eagles, and that is what's going to happen. Touchdown.
After
Eagles.
review, the ball was caught when his knee was down. Result is a touchdown. It's upheld.
And how about that? The jungle erupts in displeasure, and the Chadron State fans get to make some noise.
And don't forget, Ryan, Pittsburg State will lose a timeout because of this.
That's right. They'll lose a timeout, which could be costly later in the game. This is a close game right now. You might need that timeout later. I like that challenge, though, if you're Coach Anthony. Hard to tell. You take a shot there, doesn't pay off. Chadron State converted their challenge in the first half, and it worked out well for them. Here comes a 2-point conversion to make it a 3-point game.
Obvious call here by Coach.
And
it's either a
gonna
3-point game or a 1-possession game.
Wildcat formation with Quincy Riker. He's going to flip it to Ralph. He's got a man open, looking to throw, fires back at the end zone, who runs it to the referee and through the gates on the fence. And that's going to be a failed 2-point conversion attempt.
My gosh, it looked like a car crash out here, the way bodies were flying around. Well, that referee played some good defense out there for Pittsburg State.
Yeah, you hate that for the receiver because you're trying to run your route exactly where you practiced it. How you've run it practice, you're running along that back line of the end zone. Well, there happens to be a referee standing there that wasn't there during practice when we ran this, and you run into him as you're being tightly covered. So that took away the first option for Ralph as he was going to throw it back, and then it flies. And you'll see it here. I mean,
yeah, check that. Watch number 11, top of your screen. Yep, just right into him.
He looked open before that. He had a step on the defender. Now, that being said, Wilcox was starting to drop back. He could have forced that incompletion. We'll never know.
Never know the outcome of that play. The only outcome we've got is now it's 14-9. That 2-point conversion could have mattered in the long run because it made it just a field goal game. However, it still is just a 1-touchdown game for the Eagles and plenty of time to come back in the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. They get a touchdown here. They're in the lead. They can go get a stop and get a score. Maybe a defensive touchdown. They need a play from their defense here. If that's a big sack or a turnover, they need their defense to make a big play.
Yeah, Tommy Thomas had the big play on the offensive side with that huge catch that brought him down within the red zone. And then also the huge catch in the back corner of the end zone. So now it's time for the defense to step up and keep that momentum riding.
And now a little antstiness kind of come across the Gorilla faithful. They thought they had a comfortable 14-3 lead, and then just like that, the Eagles strike. And the Gorillas return team will come on the field. No Atkins Jr. back deep to return. So curious to see if he's good to go at receiver or if they've just maybe taken him off the kick return unit. We'll find out on this drive.
Well, it's two very new guys out there, it looks like, for Pittsburg State.
Could just be getting some fresh legs. Give your receivers a break, too, as we get later in this game. And Yee's kick is away into the end zone, and it will be returned by the Gorillas. He's got a lane, and then he's hit down at the 20-yard line. Whoa, what a big hit.
Yeah, it looks like that's a new man into the game there. It's going to be Don Daughtry on the return. And then also making the tackle there is Miller for Chadron State. A huge one there because it looked like he had a lane to go. Daughtry did. However, Pittsburg State returns to the field. This is a huge drive. For the veteran quarterback, it's time to see if he has what it takes to answer because this is huge. You need an answer. If you do not, Chadron State has all the momentum, and they go into the fourth quarter probably with a lead.
Barry will give it on a handoff to Cleo Chandler, spin move, and then gets a gain of 5. Put a defender in the spin cycle, making him dive for nothing but air.
It's a good gain, and there's no reason for Pittsburg State to go away from the run game right now. What a move by Cleo Chandler. But like I was saying, second down and short, keep that run game moving because you still have the lead. You're still in control of the contest.
Atkins Jr. is back in the game for Pittsburg State, so just off kick return. Handoff now. Cleo Chandler picks up a gain of, call it 3 or 4. He'll be 1 yard short of the line to gain. And here comes the Luke Nigaman package.
This is textbook ahead of the chains football for Pittsburg State. 2 run plays. And you know what? 3 times 4 equals first down.
Look at Cleo Chandler there. 7 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown. And the Gorillas spread out their running game quite a bit between 3 running backs, a tight end, and a quarterback. Nigaman takes the snap. He's going to keep it, going to his right again, and then dives forward for the first down. It looked like the Eagles had played it pretty well, and then the big fellow just finds a lane and dives forward. You take another look at that one here. Following a couple lead blockers, bouncing off a defender, and getting what he needs. Pelode Gary now the back in the game for Pittsburg State. He'll line up to Jackson Berry's right. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top. Berry takes the snap. He's going to keep it. He fires it out to Parchman, and it falls incomplete.
Parchman's been held pretty quiet in this game so far. We haven't seen much out of him, so I understand the urge to get him back and involved, but you can't force it. What you got to do is get him into the game naturally. Maybe do a jet sweep. Maybe do something along the lines of get the ball in his hands, because he's currently being blanketed by that defensive secondary.
They've run tunnel screens with him at times, and when he's able to get space off that, he's made defenses pay this year. Going to be a handoff. Pelode Gary almost slips down, and then he does. And that'll be a big play for the Eagles defense. That'll make it 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, the first down was converted because of being ahead of the chains. Now Pitt State is way behind the chains with 3rd down and 10.
We'll see what the Gorillas like to do here on 3rd down, what the play call is. 3 receivers go to the bottom of your screen. Grayson Holbert lines up in the slot. Berry will have Chandler to his left. Likely there just a pass block for him. Takes the snap. Eagles bring pressure. Berry gets it out. It's caught by Holbert. That's a 1st down for the Gorillas. Holbert gets himself open for a big play.
Chadron State playing cover 0 here to allow for a blitz on 3rd down. And because of that, Holbert finds a soft spot and completes for a 1st down.
Khalil Chandler stutter steps. Gains 2 yards on the play. Under a minute remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And the Gorillas are really milking that 3rd quarter clock. See what Berry and the Gorillas offense does on 2nd down. Cleo Chandler lines up to the right. Berry takes the snap, dropping back, going to throw again, under pressure now. Coming to the near sideline, throws it out, got a man, it's caught by Long.
We do have a flag down on the far side of the field. Typically a far side of the field penalty means holding. We will see what the call is, though.
We wait for the white hat.
Eligible player downfield, 65 in the offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It'll be against the Gorillas. 11 seconds left now in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that one goes against Carter Stanchfield. That's what's so hard to do on those run-pass options, which I'm not sure if that one was entirely a run-pass option, but still Stanchfield finds himself too far down, and because of that, it brings up 2nd down and real long to go.
And it looks like the Gorillas are just going to let that 3rd quarter clock run out. So, Daryl, we're going to a 4th quarter finish in the Division II playoffs. You won't want to miss it. You're watching ESPN+. And we are back for the fourth quarter of action in the jungle. The Pittsburg State Gorillas lead the Chadron State Eagles 14-9. Daryl, this one may come down to the last drive of the game.
You know, for a while there, I thought Pittsburg State was going to run away with it. They were leading the turnover category. Time of possession, they had the lead by 11 points. But then all of a sudden, here came Chadron State. And now we've got ourselves a ball game. And I tell you what, if this gets any more exciting, Ryan, well, I'm just going to lose my mind up here. Jackson Berry, though, having himself a good game. Not quite the yardage that you would expect from how good his completion percentage is.
Yeah, he's done pretty well as far as completion percentage, like you said, but the Eagles have contained it from happening on big plays. And here comes Berry and the Gorillas for the first play of the fourth quarter of action. He sends long in motion. One back to his right. Two receivers to each side. Takes the snap. He's dropping back. Steps up in the pocket. Looking to throw. Now makes a defender miss. He scrambles out to his left. Being chased and then brought down for a sack. The Eagles defense flying sideline to sideline.
And that right there is not a sack made by the defensive line, but instead it is a coverage sack. Because if you watch the secondary there, every single receiver for Pittsburg State was taken care of. Nigaman on the sideline, taken care of. Damian Long at the top of the screen, taken care of. Kieran Parchman had two guys on him deep. Every single person in red had a white jersey tagged on their hip.
Daryl, I mentioned time of possession being something the Gorillas are so effective at. The Eagles currently lead it by over 3.5 minutes against Pittsburg State. So that's a key stat to look at as this game goes on. As I mentioned, in most of the Gorillas' wins, they almost doubled their opponent's time of possession. Berry now, step out of the pocket. He's got to run yet again. Eagles all over him, and they drop him right at the line of scrimmage.
That is impressive coverage by Chadron State. They bring a cover zero blitz, and it does force Berry to not make any reads and just get out of the pocket. But you can see when all these guys are storming to the pocket, usually one guy is left open. So you're trying to scan the field because where the blitz came from is probably where the guy is open. Jackson Berry can't do that. He has to vacate to the opposite side, and because of that, no receiver is found. He's taken down, and now fourth down with the punt team on the field.
4th and 8 for the Gorillas. Tyler Ansel will come on to punt it away and try to pin the Eagles back. It's a fake. Nigaman has it, trying to go the far sideline. Eagles all over it. They bring him down for a stop. The Gorillas roll the dice, and they'll pay for it.
Uh-oh, we got a little extracurriculars over here.
And the Gorillas want a penalty. Does not look like they're going to get it. It'll be Eagles offense on the field, regardless if there was a penalty or not, because it would have been after the play.
Ooh, that is a risky move there. I understand that you're in positive territory, so you might as well try something, but still, you really want to prevent Chadron State from gaining any momentum, and that right there, that's going to give them momentum.
Well, besides that last drive, their offense, I mean, they've really struggled in this game. And now you could have pinned him back deep. Let's say the worst case, you kick for a touchback, you get him at the 20. Could have pinned him back further. Now you're going to give it to him around the 45-yard line.
That's one of those play calls that'll probably be forgotten, but will definitely have a huge outcome or take on this game.
Ralph, play action. He takes a shot downfield. Got a man open. It's caught in double coverage. The Eagles are soaring here in the second half.
Devin Sundgren goes up over the top of two red jerseys. He's just running a typical post route. Ralph, with good protection and good time, throws a bomb, and what a high point there by the young man.
Eagles getting to the line quickly. Takes a snap. This time just going to be a handoff. Bounces off his offensive line, and that Gorilla defense is all over him.
Blake Carr in to make the tackle once again. But man, oh man, how quick the Eagles have rolled into the red zone here.
Jake Marshall was the ball carrier, and there was just nowhere to go. Now Pearson back in the game at running back. And I mean, here's a drive for the Eagles. You've got to finish it, though. Last time they looked for Tommy Thomas. He's going to be lined up at the bottom of your screen. Number 4 there for the Eagles. Hand off to Pearson. He's got a lane and brought down inside the 10.
That's a huge tackle by Stephen Ward. If he doesn't make that tackle, that's a sure touchdown, and all of a sudden the Gorillas are on their heels.
And that could have been a touchdown, and the first lead for the Eagles in this game. They've not led all day. A chance to get their first lead. It's 3rd and 4. Pearson, the back to Ralph's left. One-on-one coverage at the bottom of your screen with Tommy Thomas yet again. Here's the snap. It's a handoff. Pearson, and that is going to be a face mask. And 3 flags come flying in. So that's going to be a first down for the Eagles. As the refs come together to get the official call. See what they elect. I think it was a pretty obvious face mask from my point of view up here.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And that will be the call. First down, Chadron State. 1st and goal coming up.
And that puts them half the distance to the goal, so they got about 2 and a football lengths yards away from the end zone here. I don't doubt that they'll just go back to Pearson.
I'd give it to Pearson right here. You got 4 tries to get it. It's a handoff. Pearson, he's stuffed by the Gorillas.
We saw this the last time, though. It was a goal-to-go situation, and the Gorillas had a 4th and 7 on Chadron State when they completed the miraculous catch in the back corner of the end zone.
2nd and goal coming up from the 3. I go right back to the running game.
Tommy Thomas exited the field, so I would be surprised if they threw this.
And it looks like he's going to have 2 lead blockers in front of him. Here's a snap. They hand it off to the big fella, diving forward. He's not going to get there. Stopped at the 2. Little creativity by the Eagles. Third and goal coming up. You got to think it's probably 2 plays to get 2 yards. Tommy Thomas back in the game. One-on-one coverage, bottom of your screen. 3rd and goal. Pearson the back. It'll be a handoff to Pearson. He gets across the goal line. He scores and gives the Eagles their first lead of the game.
And roll, Eagles, roll. They now take the lead over Pittsburg State, their first lead of the contest, and it comes at a big time. You want it in the 4th quarter, and you've got it in the 4th quarter.
It'll be another 2-point conversion try coming up now to try to make this a 3-point game.
Yeah, I mean, you don't lose much here.
No, I mean, if you don't get the 2-point conversion, you're up by 1. If you kick the extra point, you're only up by 2. A field goal still takes the lead over you. It'll be 4 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Tommy Thomas in motion. Ralph under pressure, throws one up, man wide open, toe tap, he's in for the 2-point conversion. Roll Eagles in the 4th.
That is a collapse of defense on Pittsburg State. I couldn't tell if it was Stephen Ward or if it was Jordan Rogers over there who did it, but yes, it was Stephen Ward. He vacates to the wrong man in the back of the end zone, wasn't watching the quarterback's eyes, and that dish over the top leads to a wide open toe drag touchdown, 2-point conversion. Man, oh man, how has this game changed?
10-10 remaining, and when it looked like the Gorillas had every opportunity to almost put this away to start the second half, Chadron State now leads in the 4th quarter.
And Pitt State's starting to feel a little dizzy because the tables have turned, Ryan. It's going to be a tough hill to climb, especially since the Eagles control this momentum right now.
They do, and the Gorillas defense stopped them on the first drive of the second half. Then their offense kind of sputtered, and here came that Eagles offense. They go down and score a touchdown on 4th and 7, or 4th and goal from the 7. What a call that was. Way to roll the dice for Coach Long. Then the Gorillas, they try to roll the dice themselves, and it bites them. They don't pick up their 4th down that they go for. Gives the Eagles shorter field. They go back down the field, another touchdown to get their first lead, then a bust in coverage to get the 2-point conversion. Now all of a sudden, it goes from the Gorillas having an 8-point lead to just like in the snap of a finger, the Eagles have a 3-point lead.
It has been quite the turn of events here in Pittsburg State. The Chadron Eagles, who traveled well, are the only ones cheering in the crowd right now.
I mean, yeah, their crowd well worth the trip right now.
And it looked dire there for the first 3 quarters of football, but all of a sudden, the Eagles are right back in it. Pitt State has to answer. You need points on this drive. Time is dwindling down. Still plenty of football left. Do not get that twisted. But still, an answer here is going to be crucial for your team morale.
Yeah, and they bring a couple new return men in the game yet again.
Is that Jordan Rogers back deep?
I believe that's Jordan Rogers going back there. And Darryl, he's had a great game on defense. Could we see another special teams play for the Gorillas, this time in Jordan Rogers' hands?
I'm kicking this ball as far away from him as I can.
Yee's kick is away, end over end. It will go to Rogers. He backs up into the end zone. He will return it. Jordan Rogers comes out of the end zone. Eagles all over him, and they drop him inside the 15. Rogers tries to roll the dice, and he pays for it. And here come Jackson Berry and the Gorillas offense trailing for the first time today.
Well, now we see the pressure on the veteran quarterback's shoulders. Now we see the pressure on Jackson Berry. We see it in number 1's hands. Can he go down and answer and prove why he earned those all MIAA honors?
Jackson Berry will start this drive from his own 14-yard line. Holbert in motion. This one, just a handoff. Palo Gary, he's got a lane, makes a couple guys miss. The ball comes free, and he catches it with one hand.
Palo Gary better go buy a lottery ticket. That ball bounced straight back into his arms.
And, yeah, take another look at that one. Palo Gary hits a good hole here. And then right there, the ball comes out, and he reaches out and just has it luckily fall back in his hand. Berry now swings it out to Jalen Travis. Got a little space, spin move, and goes down. Darryl, what do the Gorillas offense need to do on this drive to get it going and go score?
Well, recently, we talked earlier about how Pitt State was really winning the point of attack in the trenches. Last couple of drives, they've been dominated by that defensive pressure, so we'll see if Jackson Berry can have a little more time in the pocket.
Berry will drop back. He's looking to throw. He's taking a shot to Parchman and overshoots his man.
Well, you see what happens when he has more time in the pocket. A lot of confidence there as he slings that one deep to Parchman. However, maybe not the best move. He was double covered on that play.
Yeah, double covered, but you're going up for your man, trying to let him make a play, and now it's 3rd down and 4. Palode Gary the back. The Gorillas are 5 of 9 on 3rd down today. Parchman at the bottom of the screen. Berry rolls to his right. He's going to run, trying to get it with his legs, dives for the line to gain. He gets it. That'll be a 1st down Gorillas.
That quarterback is putting his body on the line. You saw it there as soon as he got to the line to gain. He just covers the ball with both hands and prays that he's going to fall forward for that 1st down. You can watch it right here. Lowers the shoulder, but he is not going to fumble that ball.
Hey, it's like I said earlier. He said before the game, whatever it takes, keep the family together. Berry gives on a handoff. Palo Gary got a little space, bounces off a defender, and picks up a gain of 10. 1st down for the Gorillas.
Gorillas starting to roll here on the offensive side. The running game opened up. I think Chadron State is playing a little too deep. They're allowing Pittsburg State to run the football when they're expecting. Oh, that's
be a cramp on the far side.
Yeah, that's
student section boos.
Yeah,
he was down, he got up, and his coach told him to go back down.
And this is smart here by Chadron State. Obviously, don't want to speculate anything. Got to assume that he is injured down on the field. But still, Pittsburg State was running a no-huddle offense. And what that means is that Chadron State could not make any substitutions on their side. If Pitt State doesn't make a sub, Chadron State can't make a sub. So what they're doing there is running a no-huddle offense and forcing that same defense to be out on the field. Now, the man that was down on the play, Jameer Everett, walks off the field pretty fine. And that also is going to give an injury timeout and allow some substitutions to go in for Chadron State.
Yeah, but also for the Gorillas here on your offense, you got a little momentum going, talk it over, tighten it up again, go finish this drive for the Gorillas. For the Eagles, tighten up that defense, bend but don't break. Your offense finally has joined you on this game. They've got you the lead. You just got to keep doing what you've been doing pretty much all game but one drive.
And like I mentioned, Chadron State is playing for the pass. They're only bringing up a three-man front here.
Yeah, three-man front and four linebackers in. Barry takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff. Plenty of space for Cleo Chandler. Brought down for a solid gain.
Yeah, Pelode Gary with another good carry there.
And Pelode Gary, he comes up limping hard. And he's not happy. In obvious pain as he gets off the field. Cleo Chandler will come back in. Barry has two receivers at the bottom of your screen, that stack formation. Barry dropping back. He wants to take a shot towards the end zone. Jalen Travis goes up for it. It's going to be a defensive pass interference because the corner did not get his head turned around. Barry had one-on-one coverage with his guy that time, and he threw it up to let him make a play. Looks like it's going to be a penalty against the Eagles.
Pass interference. Defense, number 35, 15-yard penalty. Down.
So that'll give the Gorillas some free yards and a first down now. 7:40 remaining in the game.
I was about to mention the clock. This has so far been a 3-ish minute drive. It's been actually about 2.5 minutes. Pitt State is going quick, but you got to keep in mind that they're probably thinking about saving time for another possession for themselves.
Jackson Berry in the shotgun. Chandler to his right. Takes the snap, dropping back, looking to pass, fires, he wants end zone, it's Parchment, he caught it, touchdown, Gorillas gain the lead right back. Karan Parchment getting himself open. Jackson Berry, what a beautiful football.
He has been quiet all game long. The fans were waiting for Karan Parchment to finally break free. And the speedster does it right there. Jackson Berry delivers a dime to Parchment in the back of the end zone. That back corner has been favorable for the number 4s.
Yeah, and both receivers wanting a number one cut or in single coverage when they've needed to. And that extra point up and good gives the Gorillas a 3-point lead. You saw Parchment just take off and beat his corner. Funny about that, the Gorillas world champion in track, the number 1 hurdler in the world, Cordell Tinch, Pittsburg State Gorilla, walked by that sideline. Then Parchment showed his wheels off as well.
Yeah, he's sitting down there in the front row. I can see the back of his head right now. The Pitt State track team, obviously a very successful one here, but the Pitt State football team looking to continue some success as the winningest program in Division II history.
Absolutely, and their last national championship came in 2011, and if you're here in the jungle, you can see on the home side press box, they've left room for more national titles to go. It's just when can they get over that hump and overcome it. If you ask Chadron State, it ain't happening this year for the Gorillas because they're going to go back down the field and score if they have anything to say about it. And Ralph now, he's really starting to find his groove.
Yes.
DJ Ralph has really stepped up as this game has went on. Started a little slow, but right now he's playing like a veteran out there. I know he is a 5th year, but he didn't start the year off as the starter for the Eagles, and he's come on fire in this game. The kick is away, end over end kick. This one is returnable. It will be returned. Eagles will have a chance here to create some fireworks, trying to find a lane. He's dropped inside the 10.
Special teams has been the story for Pittsburg State, and now it's going to be a long drive here for the Eagles. The Eagles scored a touchdown off of the special teams play that they made, so the third side of the ball has been the most crucial in today's matchup.
Yeah, special teams, special plays, special players, and it's told the story of this game. Ralph comes to the field, and the jungle is alive. Crowd weighing on him. Ralph dropping back, quick packs, gets it out wide, and it is complete.
Roland George III, just a nice little hitch route. Notices that the Pitt State defender is playing way off of him. That's Quincy Minor, I believe, on the coverage. And because of that, he just takes a nice little 5 yards, stops, makes the catch, turns around, and gains the extra for the first down.
That's a great first play of this drive for the Eagles. They got over 7 minutes to go down this field. No need to rush, no need to be in a hurry. Just go as a positive drive and end it with some points. Ralph dropping back, looking to throw, swings it out wide. Yet again, this one's knocked down. Christian Cross making the play for the Gorillas. You're going to see him here in the secondary.
That defense starting to come alive for Pittsburg State, the identity of the team. They say it wins championships. Well, can it win the first round of the Division II playoffs?
DJ Ralph, 6:58 to work. 2nd and 10. 2 receivers to each side. Pearson is back. He'll line up to his left. Ralph dropping back under pressure. He fires this one, and it falls incomplete. The Eagles want a pass interference, and they are irate on the sideline.
And once again, it's going to be Christian Cross in coverage. Little extracurriculars there by Reginald King, and he quickly goes and picks up the ball and gets it to the ref, making sure that he's appeased him. But still, that battle over there on the top half of your screen has been the one to watch. Christian Cross has been locked down on the last 2 plays. 3rd down and long. What can they draw up? They're 9 of 15 today.
The jungle rises to their feet. Both fan bases await a critical 3rd down. Ralph dropping back, finding time, gets it complete, and then Tommy Thomas is thrown down on the Gorilla sideline, and he's a little shaken up. He does get up after help from a Gorilla, and he'll hobble to the Eagles sideline. The Gorillas defense stands tall.
Something notice, Jordan Rogers on coverage. Whenever Tommy Thomas has been in the slot, it's been Jordan Rogers covering him, and he has not been able to get free. Whenever he's been on the outside, that's when he scored the touchdown. That's when he had the deep bomb. But now he's laying on the field hurt, and the Eagles are hurt as well to see one of their stars on the field.
Yeah, that's the main playmaker for the Eagles. Tommy Thomas has had an absolute incredible season for them. Like I mentioned, over 800 yards, excuse me, 900 yards receiving for him this year. Very impressive feat. You also look at him, he's got 15 touchdowns to go along with that 900-yard receiving performance this season. So, a very incredible and impressive receiver.
And just under 7 to go. He will pop up to his feet, but he's going to receive some help going to the sideline. You got to hope he's okay, because
I bet if they get the ball back, he will force himself onto that field, even in pain. Because right now, there is no tomorrow. If you come up short, the season's over. And those guys like him, they're hard to keep off the field just because they won't let you. Even when they're hurting, they'll force their way out there. And it'll be most likely punt time here for the Eagles. Unless they get really risky.
Still plenty of time in this game to make a stop and go down and score. But keep a vigilant eye out for the fake.
6:47 remaining, 4th and 5. And the Eagles will line up again. Could it be that hard count formation? It will be a snap. It's going to be a pass. Flips it forward. It's going to be intercepted by Pittsburg State. Special teams, special plays, special players.
Jackson Young with the heads-up play to go and grab it. And young man, the redshirt sophomore out of Springfield, Missouri, will take his first seat in the turnover throne. And what a time to do it.
Weisenbraun just threw that one up in quadruple coverage. but he had to. He had a gorilla coming in his face. He just had to throw it up. And Pittsburg State gets the interception.
Well, Weisenbraun was the special teams player of the year, not the offensive player of the year.
He put it where his guy was.
Right. He gave him a chance.
Yeah, he did what he had to do, and that's throw it up to give his guy a chance. Barry now gives on a handoff. Cleo Chandler is wrapped up, but then breaks free and picks up a positive gain when it looked like all hope was lost and he would be going down for a loss.
But he's a little slow to get up as well.
That'd be 2 backs for the Gorillas getting banged up here late in the game. Pelode Gary still on the sideline. Jacoby Smith will come back in. Pelode Gary did dart up there on the sideline when Chandler was slow and go up to coach. Hopefully both of them are okay. Barry now in the shotgun. Luke Nigaman to his left. Jacoby Smith to his right. Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff. Jacoby Smith. And he gets up to about the 31-yard line.
No sense of urgency here for the Pitt State Gorillas. You got just under 6 minutes to drain off this clock. You're not going to do it on this drive, but on this drive, what you need to do is secure points. With this 3rd down and longish to go, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run back towards the middle of the field and give Austin Schmidt a good look at a field goal. But I also understand Jackson Berry and his aggressive nature and him wanting to pick up that 1st down.
I would call an RPO here if I'm coaching for the Gorillas. And yep, Jackson Berry will drop back to pass. He swings. He's got Grayson Holbert. It's caught. That'll move the change. Fresh set of downs. Mark him at the 25-yard line. Clock will roll. Under 5 minutes going to be remaining.
Smart play by Holbert. Once again, just a little 5-yard hitch route. Gets across the line to gain, and he sits down in that zone, forces the cornerback for Chadron State to come up and make a play, but he's just a little bit too late getting there. Holbert with the sure hands picks up the 1st.
Barry going to line up in shotgun. Jacoby Smith going to be the back, lined up to his left. 10 on the play clock. Holbert in motion. Barry takes a snap, handoff. Jacoby Smith, and he's wrapped up for a gain of 1. Gorillas are going to try to chew this clock. 3 points makes it a 7-point game. But the way your defense and special teams gifted you the football, you got to know this Gorillas offense wants to score a touchdown and try to put this game away.
Special teams, special teams, special teams. That's all it's been the entire game. The first touchdown was special teams. The blocked field goal to prevent points. It's all come back to that 3rd side of the ball.
Jacoby Smith going to his right, goes up the middle. He gains a 1st down, a fresh set of downs coming up for the Gorillas.
And this is going to be huge for Pittsburg State, currently ahead by 4. A field goal puts them to where they're forcing Chadron State to score a touchdown. But you know they don't want that. They want to put the nail in the coffin and score that touchdown and give this hometown crowd a reason to party tonight.
Barry letting this clock wind as he gets the signals from the sideline. Jacoby Smith still the back. He'll line up at Barry's left. Travis lined up at receiver at the top of your screen. Holbert in the slot. Parchment at the bottom. Handoff. Jacoby Smith makes a man miss. Barrels forward through a couple defenders. And then he'll be piled up for a gain of 5. Second down coming up for Pittsburg State.
You know, I don't expect anything different here. Couple more run plays. They'll probably run one more play, get to the 2-minute timeout, and then after that they'll come back with a 3rd down attempt.
They like those sweep plays with the receivers.
That's true.
And they run them a lot in the red zone to try to get in space. You got a guy like Grayson Holbert in the game right now, but you could also bring Jalen Travis from the top, bring him towards the bottom of your screen, and have a couple blockers in front of him. Barry will take it. He'll give it. Jacoby Smith darts forward, and he'll pick up a short gain. That should take us to the 2-minute timeout.
So it'll be a break on the 2-minute timeout and 3rd down afterwards. So it gives them a chance to really talk this one over and kind of just study what they want to do.
3rd and 4 coming up after the 2-minute break. This one going down the end. You won't want to miss it. You're watching the Division II playoffs on ESPN+. Minutes remain. This one coming down to the end. An update. Harding leads it 38-16 over the Bearcats. The winner of this game will be making the trip down to Harding, it looks like. And with the way this game has gone, I'm not going to say that's the Gorillas yet. You could very well see a fumble, and you can see the Eagles soar right back down the field and regain the lead.
You could see a kick return. You could see just about anything
We
on
might
this
have
field.
OT in the cards, Daryl.
Ooh, it's going to be a tough finish here for both teams. And man, I am excited to see it, Ryan. I'm about to get myself out of the booth with how excited I am.
Jackson Berry will motion Jacoby Smith into the backfield with him. Line up, pistol formation. Berry gives it on a handoff. Jacoby Smith will be stopped short of the first down. And it appears like the Gorillas will be lining up for a field goal, and Austin Schmidt will have a chance to make this a 7-point game as the Eagles call a timeout with 1:51 remaining.
Smart play there. If the field goal is made by Schmidt, then it'll be a 7-point game, so you want as much time as possible. That'll leave the Eagles with about a minute 47, depending on when the game clock operator does stop that clock. So you'll have just over a minute 45 to travel all the way down the field for a touchdown. You have to score a touchdown. The question becomes, what do you do after that touchdown?
Austin Schmidt still got to make the field goal. We got to talk about that still. He's missed a couple today.
That is very true.
And how is that affecting his confidence here? You're 0 for 2. Now you got to line up in the fourth quarter with a chance to be the game on the line.
And taking a look, once again, Albany State on the other side of the bracket ends up picking the victory over Valdosta State. Remember, they were trailing, so that's a comeback victory for Albany. Newberry, the number 3 seed, ends up dominating Kentucky State in the second half. And Colorado State Pueblo still down by a large margin to Permian Basin.
Yeah, big upset going on over there in Colorado. Austin Schmidt lining up for the field goal attempt. Tyler Antle to hold. Schmidt's kick is up, and it is no good. 0 for 3 now for Austin Schmidt. The Eagles could get the lead with a touchdown. You saw the entire Chadron State sideline and defense immediately start going no good as soon as that one came off the leg.
I want to see what happened on that kick. That's the most awkward I've ever seen a ball come off of Austin Schmidt's foot.
He's not happy on the sideline. And he just got to shake it off because you never know if he might have to come back in and maybe try to kick one to tie it up and send it to overtime.
Yeah, I'm wondering now about if the hold was solid or not because he seems very upset on that sideline.
Nonetheless, DJ Ralph on the field, a chance to go down the field and take the lead. He'll drop back, looking to pass, trying to find someone to throw to, throws it upfield, got a man, it's bobbled, looks like it's caught, it will be, and the Gorillas drag him down. A big first play for the Eagles.
Well, you live by special teams and you die by special teams. But nothing can teach just a large conversion down the field. A bunch of Gorillas around him, but scrambling out of the pocket, Ralph delivers a dot, and once again, high pointing it is Sundgren.
Shotgun coming up, back to his left. Ralph drops back, and this one swatted down. That time, Jeremy Sharp. Or was that? Let's take another look at it here. Oh yeah, the big fella goes up and gets his paw on it.
Tayshawn McDaniels.
Yes, 96, not 95.
Finally making his name. Whoa, he is a little offsides there. 2nd down and 10.
DJ Ralph. 2 receivers to each side. Lone back lines up to his left. Takes the snap. This time just going to be a handoff play. And the Gorillas are all over it. Just nowhere to run.
Yeah, that's normally the return man, Nelson. But he goes down. I don't really understand the run call there. Maybe they see something in the spread out defense of Pitt State that they can exploit.
3rd down and 7. 4 down territory. You got to go for it if you don't get it. Ralph dropping back, got him on the slant, throws it too far behind. I think that was a miscue with the receiver and quarterback as it was well behind. 4th down and 7 coming up. Daryl, this is the game. 55 seconds left. If the Gorillas get a stop, they can knee it out and head their way down to Arkansas. Eagles need 7 yards to keep the season alive.
Well, DJ Ralph, what do you got? What does Coach Long over there have up his sleeve? 50% on 4th down today. One of those was a touchdown, and they are still missing Tommy Thomas.
I'm looking for Schlabs here if I'm Ralph. Man in motion. 4th down. Ralph will drop back, looking to pass under pressure, has to throw it up over the middle. Diving interception to seal the game. Jordan Rogers puts it in the win column for the Gorillas. The Gorillas are moving on to round 2.
Jordan Rogers, I said it earlier, he has played a perfect game, and the perfect player ends the perfect game to continue a perfect season, and they are looking to give him that turnover thrown. And the Gorillas will see you in Arkansas.
Jackson Berry will come on the field and just look to kneel this one out. Last year, Harding beat him 48-3. Coach Anthony and the Gorillas gonna have a chance to get some get back next week as it's a fumbled snap recovered by the Gorillas.
Yeah, we got a flag. That was a very obvious false start. The man touched the ball before it even left the center's hands.
And now we're getting chippy.
But Jordan Rogers, no chippiness from him, only celebration. Stands tall on that turnover thrown. He's been the player of the year, and he deserves to hold that staff.
Yeah, kind of going to separate the two teams now, exchanging words. What a game, Darryl. What a game this was in the first round of the playoffs. And this is what you want from the 4 and 5 game in the region. The 4 seed versus the 5. It's going to be the most matchup game there is, and they exchange blows.
Defense. Contact with the offensive player. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
So 1st and 5 now coming up. You see the Gorilla fans. There's Cordell Tinch right there in the red shirt behind him. The world champion 110-meter hurdler for the Pittsburg State Gorillas. Won that in Shanghai earlier this year.
Well, it's about to be a win here for the Gorillas as well. With just 46 seconds, you take a knee and you get out of here with a victory, and you prepare for the long bus ride down to Arkansas, Searcy, Arkansas, to face off against the Harding Bison for a rematch, redemption of last year's loss.
Bison are 11-0 this year. Gorillas have not lost since week 2. And Jackson Berry will need to snap this one more time before it's in the books. What an effort from the Chadron State Eagles, though, coming back down a lot, getting the lead. Berry kneels it down, and that'll do it. The two teams come on the field to shake hands. Your final score, the Pittsburg State Gorillas 21, the Chadron State Eagles 17. Darryl, what a game.
Absolutely. And if we take a look back at some of those highlights throughout the game, you'll see what a dominant performance it was from Jackson Berry. He played amazing throughout the game, but don't get me wrong, both teams had their ups and downs. And honestly, it wouldn't even be a contest if it wasn't for that back corner catch by Tommy Thomas.
Yeah, Tommy Thomas just making insane plays there and getting the Eagles their first touchdown. You see the second one there, and then this 2-point conversion. What a throw, what a route, wide open. And it was looking like the Gorillas were going to be in trouble, and the Eagles would be soaring their way to the next round of the playoffs. Then Curon Parchment beating his man, getting the touchdown, getting the Gorillas back in front, getting the lead. And then this one, punt pass intercepted that would seal the deal and put the Gorillas in the win column. See the missed field goal there.
Both teams had a chance coming down to the wire, but it was this final pass. And of course, Jordan Rogers there to make the final victory for Pittsburg State. And it's going to be tough to keep that student section off the field tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting ready to celebrate. Their team runs over there to join the faithful that stayed instead of going home for break early. You look at the penalties, just 3 apiece. That's what you want to see from the officiating crew, letting the guys play today. First downs, Gorillas lead at 19-14. Rushing yards, Gorillas dominated 135-75. Passing yards, though, the Eagles did get the better of the Gorillas, 233-177. Turnovers, though, Gorillas forced 4 turnovers to the Eagles 1.
And the one thing this doesn't show is special teams and how crucial it was.
Yeah, the special teams came up big today for the Gorillas. I would like to give a special thank you to executive producers Dominic Santiago and Troy Como, our producer, Brayton Lynn, director, Colin Hammonds, everyone working in the control room, Wes Reed, Kent Bailey, and Nathan Danner, everyone running cameras, Zach Faribault, David Sheets, Xavier Byers, DeQuarius Ivy, Michael Kissel, and especially our 17-year engineer, Mark Thompson, in his last year with us. We thank you for everything you've done, Mark. And Daryl, thank you for joining me up here in the booth. It was a lot of fun to have you up here as well. We got to call a great game. But for myself, Ryan McCullough, Daryl McLeod, and our entire crew here in the jungle, thank you for joining us on ESPN+.